And we're back, but we're not back. Playing what we always played. Or, not really always played. You can't really call it always when it's only one thing. Or one stream. Or one cupcake. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Ah. Slowly getting things up and going. So that's kind of why I'm like half talking, half not talking, and I haven't shown myself yet, so I apologize for that, but anyone who knows me should know I am very, very great at like being late to the party with things. On a whim, I kind of just like was like, oh hey, let's just like play a death night a couple days ago. And that begat, is that the right word? Begat, that sounds wrong. But that turned into, yeah, well, blood DPS is best DPS. Let's just put it that way. Okay. I got out of the starting zone clearly on this character. I forgot how, like, boring the starting zone was after you've done it, like, 40 times. Because there was a time when, like, all the characters were Death Knights. Although I don't even remember what, like, Runeforge I should have and all this type of stuff. Like, Wowhead has guides for blood tanking, not blood DPS.
Shame on you. You're talking bad about the game you love so very much.
You're quiet. Are you going through your proper thing, or are you just like, do I need to turn you up?
It's not the same headset.
Oh, so I just need to turn you up. You're gonna be 115%. Test that. Talk. Speak.
Speak.
What?
Speak.
Okay, that's good enough. Good enough.
Did you see the Tua injury?
Tua's hurt already?
He was hurt last week, but long story short, the Dolphins organization is about to have a lot of shit thrown at them. They put him... Last week, he was obviously concussed. They put him back in this week while they're already having an active investigation against them for that. He got sacked. When he hit the ground, he immediately lost consciousness, and you know how when you get knocked out, you get really bad knocked out, and your fingers are like just lock up, everything locks up.
I have never been knocked out, so I'll just take your word for it.
Oh, you've seen injuries though, where people have been knocked out and they just go completely stiff.
To be honest, I've never really paid attention to that. I just pay attention to, wow, that guy's clearly got brain damage, because obviously if you get knocked out, you're going to have brain damage pretty much no matter what.
Well, his fingers turned into pretzels.
Ugh.
So they put somebody they knew was fucked up in there. Granted, he wanted it. So, you know, he wanted to go back in. But at the same time, he was obviously fucked up to begin with. You shouldn't have put him in there.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, it's kind of on the team to like make sure, because most players are gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm fine, don't worry about me, I'm fine. but it's on them to like make sure Buddy's actually fine, right?
Like it would even like they were saying, oh, he got thrown to the ground. Oh, that's a 310-pound man. But really, the sack was literally he got thrown to the ground in such a like a normal way, but they was making it sound like he got fucking bulldozed. No, he was just already fucking concussed.
Yeah.
And he got sacked, hit his head just hard enough that the fucking windows locked his body. Windows shut down on his body.
For a blue screen of death.
No, the update said he was able to move all his body parts, and he was conscious again.
So he
when
can
he made it to the hospital.
he restarted his system and
Yeah, he did a Windows reboot.
he Control Alt deleted, and things got slightly better after he crashed himself to desktop.
The Dolphins have already been penalized for
Safe travels.
intentionally trying to lose games and trying to pay their past coach $100,000 for every loss they had.
Yeah, I remember that.
So now they've got this that's about to bite them in the ass too, because obviously they knew. There's no way they didn't know about this, especially when they were the ones. Like, it was on national TV last week. He barely was able to walk last week. He went to the locker room, comes back out, and starts playing. Or I don't remember if he started playing again. Yeah, he did. Because they said it was just a back injury, supposedly. And that's when the NFL started that whole investigation into it. And then this week, that happened. Which basically backs up the whole theory that he was already concussed.
Yeah. Oh well, that kind of puts a wrench into the Dolphins' plans this year.
Yeah, they still got Teddy Bridgewater. They'll probably still make the playoffs. They just probably won't get anywhere in the playoffs. And it depends on how bad of a severe of an injury it is to Tua. A regular concussion, 4 to 5 weeks. So they're already
it depends on how bad the concussion is, though, right? Is it an Eric Lindros concussion, or is it like, I don't know.
Well,
I can't think of like a concussion.
Full use of his limbs, so that's a good sign. At least he doesn't have like nerve damage. Not a Ryan Shazier moment where
I don't even know who that is.
a Steelers linebacker that was paralyzed, or almost paralyzed basically. He had to have so many operations to fix his spine. His spine basically, his spine almost, I think his spine almost broke in half.
Oh, lovely.
I don't remember how the injury actually happened, but it basically, I think it was along the lines of, he got caught in between shit he didn't want to be caught between.
Like
And
a
his
rock
body
in a hard place.
didn't like it.
I can't fix that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
Man, this area is so much easier now that you don't have to worry about respawns every 4 seconds. I'm totally used to the like Ascension WoW version of the like Outland, where it's like these guys respawn every 13 seconds.
I need a target.
It's like, man, I could take a picnic here. I don't know why I would want to take a picnic, because it's Outland, but you know, Outland isn't a very picnic-friendly place.
That ability isn't ready yet.
Except maybe like Zangamarsh or
That
Nagrand.
spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. I can't do that yet.
Yeah, I know, the most random tangent ever. What zone in World of Warcraft would you most like to go on a picnic in?
Grizzly Hills.
Elwyn Forest would be a pretty good picnic location.
Grizzly Hills.
I haven't been in Grizzly
Elwyn
Hills in
too,
like
I guess.
years. I can't remember the last time I actually went to Grizzly Hills, so that'll be kind of cool to go there.
Grizzly Hills. Nicest zones they ever made.
Not ready yet. You can't do that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Without all the
That's still
fancy
recharging.
floating
I can't
rock.
cast that
What's the
yet.
second zone in Pandaria? Not Jade Forest, the one where you meet Chen Stormstone. Valley of the Four Winds, that would be a good zone.
Only before the Shah showed up. And no, I wouldn't want to go there anyway because of the giant mouse
That
people that
ability
do
isn't ready.
shit.
What are you talking about?
That's still recharging. I can't cast
Or
that
bunny
yet.
people,
I can't do that
not
yet.
rats.
Yeah, I knew what you were talking about. I wasn't gonna, like, correct you, because, yeah.
But they look like rats. Can't say they look like bunnies.
Bunnies
They
are
look more
just
like
rats with big ears.
That spell isn't ready. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. I can't cast that yet.
You have offended every bunny owner in the world.
All 5 of them.
I mean, talking about lots of people have bunnies. There's a hell of a lot more people who own bunnies than there are people who own like the weird exotic animals.
That ability
Well,
isn't
yeah.
ready yet.
People who own tigers and shit.
Yeah, because, you know,
They don't
tigers
like-
are something you can just go to your local pet store and pick up anyways, right? Like, it's...
Yeah, but even then, all the rich people in the world right now, almost all of them have some type of exotic pet that they have to brag and show off until it eats them.
I can't cast that yet.
Well, yeah.
It's not tigers, it's lions. If it's not lions or tigers, it's like
It's a bear.
jaguars or bears.
I can't do that yet. That ability
Well,
isn't
I'm
ready.
serious.
Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
There's several
Not ready
people
yet. I can't cast that
on
yet.
YouTube that I watch who have pet
That's still
jaguars,
recharging.
but they're more like,
I can't cast
the only reason they're able to keep those animals like that
that ability
is
isn't
because they've had them since the day they were born, pretty much. So it's basically the animals with them like they would their parents.
ready. Do that yet. That ability isn't ready. I'm out of range.
I guess actually that's how it works. I mean, that's how they keep. How do you think zookeepers are able to go into enclosures and clean shit? Because they were there the day they were born, their whole life until the day they die.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Like, the animals trust them and see them kind of as a parent, right? It's the same as, like, Coco or one of my cats, right? Like, they kind of see you, us as almost a parent.
I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet.
No matter how weird that is in, like, actual theory, because, you know,
I don't,
I'm like 80 times the size of the cat, and, you know,
well, if you mean it that way, I thought you
clearly
were
not
saying like
covered in
I have
wax.
never.
Yeah, that ability.
I am an avid person against people who think that
That spell isn't
people
ready.
referring to pets as kids are weird.
Not ready yet.
That's
That
bullshit.
ability isn't
Oh, 100% I call, they're my fur
cast
kids.
that yet.
Like, they are the only kids I will probably ever have and care to have.
Damn
I-
straight. Damn straight. Kitties are the best.
Far be it from me, though, if I ever actually had a kid, I'm not gonna be a shitty parent.
Oh yeah,
But
Not
you
ready
know,
yet.
you know
That
what I'm
ability
saying.
isn't ready yet.
one does not plan on it.
That's still recharging. I can't cast that yet.
I don't.
Not ready yet.
I don't
That
care.
ability isn't ready yet.
I don't care enough.
That's still recharging.
This guy looks like he's alone enough.
I can't cast that yet.
Murder!
I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet.
Get
That's
back
so
here and
hard.
die.
Let's do
Yeah, I
this.
forgot how fun
Not
Blood
ready
DPS
yet.
was.
Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I need to try it.
One of those things that they should have never changed in game was the ability to blood DPS. You should be able to DPS, tank, or heal in every spec. Maybe not heal, but you get what I mean. Especially melee should be able to, like, you should be able to bear DPS. Why not, right? Like, it's just
Well, they
threat.
started giving every class a heal, and look where that went.
Okay, but just change, like, give, I'm gonna call it a stance, because that's the way my mind works, but maybe, like, there's dire bear form and less dire bear form. And dire bear form is the tanking one, and less dire bear form is the DPS one.
Sure, but you know, you also have to think about it as, like, I don't disagree, but I also know for a fact that would be the biggest
help you?
fucking bitch to balance.
Oh.
And they already have trouble
yeah.
with what they got.
Like, we've already been through the fact that I wholeheartedly agree and believe without a shadow of a doubt in my mind right now that the moment Dragonflight comes out, that is going to be a mess of balance. I played during Legion, and I know what spec revamps turn into for Blizzard on Entertainment.
I played in all the rework expansions too.
Yeah.
I played in WoD when they decided to neuter my spec and turn it into a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, so it's like, I know what happens with that, and so it's like, you know, it's gonna come out in the first, like, patch and a half, let's call it, because, you know, it's gonna be until, what is it, like 9 or 10? 10.0 now? Like, what are we up to? I didn't play this expansion.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's gonna, until like the 1.5 patch.
I stopped caring as soon as my subscription ran out. I told you, I
come
just...
You'll be back.
Maybe one day. I don't hate the game. I have nothing against the game at all. It's just...
I've always never quite understood why this game doesn't have something like veteran rewards. And like every year you like sub, you get like bank a sub month.
Like, I bought 6 months because I figured if I would probably last 6 months, and I lasted like 4 out of 6, so that's 80%.
It's more than I've stayed, you know, years.
Which,
Trying to think the last time I played that long would probably be Legion. Like, it was probably that long.
I think the longest I've stayed through an expansion was Warlords. Even Legion, I left after like the second.
I came
major patch.
back to Legion, that's the thing. Like, I'm thinking like the last time I stayed.
But even with WoD, I was only there at like,
That ability isn't ready yet.
I was there at like the end of it. Like the last 2 major patch, like last half of it, pretty much. I wasn't even there for the start of it.
I was there, why'd I started? Left like a month and a half in, I want to say. And then came back for, it would have been Hellfire Citadel. So that would have been, what, 6.2 I think it was, and then left like 3 months later.
I didn't hate what, I just hated the fact that I hate Ian. I hate Ian as a Costas, or whatever you want to call himself. As a Costas, whatever his weird fucking name is.
Well, yeah, I've always thought him to be too condescending for WoW's, like, good. Like, he
We
comes across
don't
as, like,
want
yeah.
people to play Demonology Warlock because we can't balance it. Imagine having the fucking gall to say that on a broadcast.
Well, all the times he's told people that basically they're wrong to have their opinion because, you know, it's not in line with Blizzard's opinion. Is like...
Imagine having the fucking gall to tell thousands. At that point, probably still... It was back when they still had like millions of subscribers, so it's not too far-fetched to say at least a million of those are Warlock mains. So.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't say million, definitely 100,000. I would say Warlock mains.
Imagine having the gall to tell them, we don't want you to play Demonology. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, they do that to certain specs every expansion, like survival and, you know, all that.
But I didn't mind survival. Nobody minded survival.
Other than the balance of survival.
Survival's great, though. Now it's like top spec for raid.
I'm mainly thinking Legion survival, where it was like, okay, this is a fun spec to play, but no one's gonna play it because, oh my god, like, the DPS is poop. I would have main spec survival if it was like actually viable to like get into a raid and not get kicked out of the raid.
That's the difference between survival and Demonology, Andrew. Survival is at least still. They fuck Demonology. I wouldn't say the same for survival at all. It's not even remotely close in terms of.
Like I said, the survival's a fun spec to play. Like, I'm not saying it's not a fun spec to play at all. Like, it's fun to play, it's just, when it first came out, it was balanced,
like,
not
my argument is, though, like, my whole argument right now is, yeah, they reworked the survival.
Or Demonology.
No, my Demonology is, you could have made. Every spec already has pets. Just because it's called Demonology, you want to make it a pet, like a full-on pet somewhere. That is, it's cliche as fuck. Boring.
They do that with every spec that could possibly have a pet, though. Because look at, like, Unholy Death Knight. It's like, oh, you get a pet, you can have an extra pet if you want it. You can have 2 pets. And then you can summon a gargoyle, you can, you know, turn your pet into an abomination, and it's like, what if I want to be the plague spec but not have pets? Because I'm not a fan of pet specs, really, when it comes down to it. Like,
I actually really like Unholy, though. Unholy's probably my favorite spec that has pets in the game. It's just...
Yeah, it'd
Unholy
be Hunter. It'd be BM Hunter, just because... See, the thing is, other than Hunter...
BM Hunter was fun for a few years, but the rotation is so mind-numbingly fucking dumb. It gets so boring fast.
Oh yeah. I just like the idea of being able to have, like, 64 different pets. Like, different pet types. Let's put it that way. Like, I like heavy customization with what pet I feel like having out. Not, oh look, I have the same imp as everyone else. Like...
There are so many undead and ghostly mobs in the game. Imagine Unholy DK has the ability to
summon a ghost.
Go around to any mobs that would be like ghostly or...
Yeah, like Ascension WoW.
And just, like, take them over.
Imagine some private server made by a bunch of, like, nobody fans did it think better than like a billion-dollar corporation that just recently got bought by an even bigger billion-dollar corporation?
To be honest, that happens
Oh yeah.
all the time. That happens all the time.
I'm
In a
half
lot of
sarcastic, but you know, it does happen all the time.
Because the difference between a small group of people who are fans and a billion dollar corporation is the billion and billion dollar corporation has like 2 people who are like the hive minds of hundreds of people. So what they say goes. It doesn't matter what anybody else. Whereas the group of fans are probably the ones that are like, okay, you're in charge of Deathling, you're in charge of Warlock, you're in charge of Rogue, you're in charge of Warrior, you're in charge of the rest of the classes.
You're in charge of healing, you're in charge of tanking, so on and so forth.
You've got 1 or 2 people per class. Like, the smaller the amount of people working on something, the more often it ends up going well. What is that static?
What?
You got a shitload of static coming in on your mic.
It's not static coming in on my mic, that's the song. Lo-fi music does that. I can turn the song down. Is it loud?
Yeah.
There, it's down like 10%.
Like you turned into like one of them old school box TV static screens.
You're just jealous. I don't know. I don't know what jealous of, but I can pretend you're jealous of things.
That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
Oh, there he is. Okay, I need the dread collar. Trying to figure out where he was. Get over here.
I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
Slowed. Why you slow me? Cripple. Cripple. That would never be said in game. Like, that would be, the name of that would be changed nowadays.
What?
People would be like, I'm
what
so
is it?
offended. Even though it's a proper word.
Is it the name of a skill? Who cares if it's the name of a skill? People are too soft anyway. Or is somebody calling somebody?
A debuff called cripple.
Ah, who cares? It's not like you're being called a cripple, it's just you're crippled. What do you want them to say? Motion impaired?
I don't know, they changed male and female to... What did they change it to? Body type?
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, what are we talking about? WoW?
Yeah.
It should still be fit male and female.
No.
Or gender type?
There's no gender, it's body type now. It is basically body 1 and body 2. I'm not even joking with that.
On what? Current? I don't remember that.
It's WoW,
fair
definitely
enough.
in WoW Classic, which is kind of funny because that definitely was not in WoW Classic.
I don't remember that on current. But I also probably was not looking at what they call genders because it's just common sense. There's
Well,
2
yeah, and
genders.
how often do you like make a new character?
If I had slots a lot, I am very much an alcoholic. If I had more slots in any game, if they gave you an unlimited amount of character slots, you know how many fucking characters I'd have?
Oh God, I wouldn't. I would be afraid of my account like trying to find characters on a server. Oh my god, that would just be like the amount of characters I've deleted, especially ones that are like even mid-level characters, like that. It's depressing over the years. The altaholic, it's not even altaholic, it's like me and friends would
If my character doesn't have like the right look that I like, I will delete it
oh, I'm not
and
that
make
bad.
another one.
I make sure I have a character that I like the look of before.
Oh, I do too usually, but see the thing is, I can like a character, get to a certain point, and something will just irritate me, that like a cutscene or something, and it'll show her or show him or her, and they'll look ugly as shit in that one certain scenario, and that'll just make me hate it.
See, my problem is names. I kind of do that with names, where I'll name a character one thing, and then after like 2 months be like, yeah, I'm bored of my like mage named Rainbow Dash to piss off someone. I'm gonna pay $10 to change that name. So I'll do that.
Wouldn't even pay like, even if I had the money, I would not pay $10. I would be the one that would probably just say fuck it. I'll keep it and just make a new one.
Nope, I definitely.
What can I do for you?
Just, I don't even want to know I probably could calculate the amount of money I've spent, but I don't want to know the amount of money I've spent.
To be honest, yeah, I'm only back on Guild Wars. Third person, so. But I actually have not been having a full time with this game since I've come back. I haven't been doing what I normally do, and I haven't been going straight to PvP and pissing myself off and then leaving. Like, normally I don't last as long as I have, but...
Yeah, I was totally surprised to see you in that game, just because that's not a game that you like gravitate to. Like, I get that your sub for WoW's not going on right now, but it's like,
well, I used to play this game like, I used to be addicted to this game. Every day, all day, I would be on this game.
Then you took an arrow to the knee.
No, and then I just, certain people and certain memories made me run away.
Yeah, I know. I just Skyrim reference for fun.
I'm kind of getting to the point where it's like, shit happened, fucking shouldn't impede my happiness.
Yeah, it's kind of where I'm at with like this game. I'm to the point where like I spent so long trying to get like people to play the game with me, like people I used to play games with, and now I'm just fuck it, I'm just gonna play the game because I enjoy it, right? Especially Wrath.
I don't mind Wrath, it's just, yeah. I preferred the game when it was like in Mist, and even Kata. I didn't even mind Kata. I'm one of the few people that will say that.
I didn't mind it, like, the rating was kind of poo, but...
I didn't like the fucking fact that certain classes got like legendaries that made them gods, but it wasn't a bad experience.
You're just...
I'm looking at Rogue.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're just mad because it wasn't your class. If you were a rogue, you'd be totally fine with it.
Like I said, I like the story of Wrath. Like the whole Arthas stuff. And the whole, because that was still when they were still going by,
Warcraft 3.
Warcraft lore.
Yeah.
That ability isn't ready yet.
It's kind of why I'm playing a Death Knight right now. I kind of really want to get into Wrath of the Lich King content. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Scarlet Monastery, but being level 35 and grinding Scarlet Monastery until my eyes bleed kind of gets a little bit boring after a while.
That's still a recharge. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet.
Like, the 30s is kind of a shitty area for, like, leveling in the game.
I never really wanted to do that shit regardless. I've done those dungeons so many times leveling, they wouldn't be fun to me ever again.
They're fun once when I'm leveling through a character. Like, I don't mind, oh, let's do the Scarlet Monastery stuff. You know, there's decent gear, and it's kind of fun, and, you know, so on and so forth.
That's another reason I really didn't.
10 straight levels of it's
Yeah, I'm gonna jump on WoW Wrath. Because I used to spam Wrath of dungeons and shit, so...
Yeah, but you could be like me and just make a DK and then you don't gotta worry about it.
See you soon.
You can have fun for the both of us.
King's honor, friend.
Why do you need a Griffin Destroyer? Why do you need a Griffin Destroyer? You need a Griffin, not a Griffin Destroyer. Why are you destroying Griffins?
Light bless you.
What did a Griffin ever do to you? Griffin Destroyers should be capitalized. The G and the D. I am totally semantic saying Blizzard right now on their like 14-year-old quest text.
Oh, it looks like we're still gonna lose to Eddie Bridgewater anyway.
Who shot who in the what now? Oh. Oh yeah, it's Thursday.
Yeah, how do you think I would? Why do you think I was telling you about the Tua injury?
I don't pay attention to football all the time. I'm not like you. I don't pay attention to football. It's not. There's only one sport that's worth paying attention to 24/7.
I don't pay attention.
And
to
it rhymes with jockey. I have been
Rugby.
I said jockey.
Rugby.
Rugby does not rhyme with jockey.
You can. You just gotta believe in it.
It's not how it works.
The hit famous rapper Eminem would make rugby rhyme with jockey.
Yeah, he's a rap god.
Hi.
All this gear is kind of poopy. It's good for gold, though. Yeah, that's the biggest amount of gold. Forward Commander Kingston wants you to speak to Wing Commander Debris. Ride a Griffin to Shatter Point.
Off with
Why
you.
are we shattering the point?
You ever try that Star Wars expansion? I know you started to do it. I don't think you ever actually did it, did you?
No, I never got to it. I got bored of that game. See, I like that game in theory, SWTOR, but there's story and there's too much story. And so I kind of get bored of, oh, well, let's just spend the next 16 hours of my life watching cutscenes. So, yeah. If it had 50% less cutscenes, I would probably play it 80% more.
You just like everything to be condensed within 4 minutes. That's all.
I have an attention span of a well-caffeinated 16-year-old child. Teenager. whatever you want to call them. So yes, I
No.
need Cole's notes, and
Safe travel.
yeah,
Cole's notes.
Cole's notes. Everything
never heard that
condensed down to the very, very like.
Like
You
I
got
know
my
what
attention.
you're saying. Obviously,
Safe
it's just
travel.
I've never heard
How
that
are
saying
ya?
before. Cole's notes.
Yeah, you gotta give me the Cole's notes.
Watch your back.
Come on, bro. Do you like turn a phrase or do you?
Like I've heard Cliff Notes.
The same difference. I don't like Cliff though,
How
so
are ya? Be good.
What you got against Cliff?
his notes aren't that good.
I was about to say what you got against Cliff
What can I do for you?
Kingsbury.
Who?
Keep your feet on the ground.
I'm not even going to tell you who that is.
I wouldn't know
but
who that was.
it's Kyler Murray.
What do you got against Kyler Murray?
I'm saying Cliff Kingsbury has to do with Kyler Murray.
The guy who like wants him to study. I'll give you $20 million, but you have to study for like 90% of your life.
He's the head coach of the Cardinals.
Oh, the team that's gonna lose this week? Okay.
I can't use that item yet.
You only say that because they're either facing the Panthers or the Jets.
You are
One of those
Slowly
two.
charging.
You are correct. In that assumption, it depends on which team, though.
I don't keep track of the Jets and Panthers.
You should. Panthers are the best cat team in football.
The sad part about that is that's incorrect all the way around. The best cat team in football right now is the Jaguars.
I'm out of range.
Yeah, the team that you ran away from because you didn't like them. You were like,
I
oh,
didn't
their
like the
coach is
owners.
poopy.
Well, he was. They're old. I didn't say the new one. I said the Urban Meyer.
I know, the
shit
guy
coach,
that's
but-
named after
It's not
like a
ready yet.
part of a town. You
Yeah,
should never
because he used to be a legend in college football, but just because he was a
It's too
legend
far
doesn't
away.
mean he
Well,
was
that
going to be good in NFL.
literally means nothing, yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, I gotta do that whole strafing run again because I totally missed one overseer. Blizzard! One overseer.
Hello.
Should have paid attention to that.
Safe travels.
And eventually everybody's going to have one good year. Doesn't mean it's going to last.
Except the Lions.
The Lions are having a pretty good year.
Well, for the Lions, yeah. For the Lions, like 5-12 is a good year.
No,
Recently, yeah.
you just hate on the Lions because that's a tradition, because you hate Detroit.
Oh, it's not tradition, it's the Detroit, yes.
Yeah, well, it's basically a tradition at this point. You
No,
you going out in public and somebody mentioned Detroit. Detroit sucks.
it does. It does, I've been there.
Yeah, how long ago have you been there though? Could be different now.
I can look across the water and see it. I don't need to go there all the time.
Every place has shitty areas.
Yeah, it's called all
Come
of it
down
for
to
Detroit.
Georgia and Florida sometime. Come down to Georgia and Florida and go like
Yeah, but then I'd have to dodge like 34 hurricanes, and that's just not fun. Were any
Not
of those
alive
gonna
until
hit you
you've
so far?
worried. Huh. Ian was supposed to, but as usual, it always misses.
Yeah, because that one went Tampa, yeah, and that kind of went out
Fort
the
Myers,
Atlantic.
Tampa Bay,
Yeah.
and now it's going to hit South Carolina. It was Category 5 when it hit Florida.
Yeah, and then there was the one that just recently hit the Atlantic Lake, Canada. I don't remember that name. I don't pay attention to too many hurricanes. Just because, like, yeah. There's so many of
It
them.
was we were supposed to be hit dead on and be slap dead in the middle of the eye of it, but every time they say that shit right before it hits us, it like veers around us.
Well, yeah, it's
So
weather.
I'm kind of just learned to go with it. If something's gonna happen, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's weather. Like 90% of the time, the weatherman's wrong 50% of the time.
Well, they've been wrong about us like 80%, 90% of the time.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean. They're like very rarely actually right about things. It's like the only job where you can be like,
well, it's cliff. It literally is just cliff notes and prediction. That's. Now you can obviously tell somebody it's gonna rain, and it might.
What's on your mind?
Was supposed to rain.
it's gonna rain.
But
How
then
are
magically it don't rain. Well, you can't really predict.
See you soon.
I don't think it would be years before you can 100% accurately predict weather. And even then,
That would be really hard.
I don't know I don't pretend like I know the science that goes into that shit, but it's a lot of sensors and shit.
Yeah, that would be pretty hard to do that. Like that 100%.
Well, eventually technology will get to that point. It probably just will be after I'm dead.
Pretty much.
Like, well, if not dead, I will be in my senior years.
Back in my day, our weatherman was wrong 80% of the time.
Go with honor, friend.
I used to get my weather by walking uphill both ways in the snow. Even though that makes no sense, but you know, here we are.
Hey, at least you get a damn summer and winter. All it is here is summer.
That's literally all we get. Like, we just literally in the past, like, 2 weeks went from, like, 90 degrees and stupid hot, needing the air conditioner, to, like, 60 degrees instantly. Like, it...
Yeah, that's hurricanes weather, though. I don't expect that to stay, because it's the same here. As soon as the hurricanes started getting closer, it dropped 20 degrees in a day. And went down to like 62 from like... It was really hot. But it went down to like 62. I think last night when I was looking, or yesterday morning, before I went into work to do the truck and put up the truck and stuff, I had looked because I was actually cold for once. So I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm actually cold? What is this feeling? I haven't felt this in years.
Yeah, back in my day.
That ability isn't ready yet. That spell isn't ready.
An anomaly.
Yeah, it's like actually nice, like, because I obviously work in a freezer, so I have to bring like a ton of crap with me to work.
No, so do I. We share that in common because I literally work in a freezer.
True. But yeah, so like not having to like, I can just wear it to work right now. It's so nice.
I got gloves, I got jacket, I got
don't
Whatever
wear
else.
gloves. I don't wear gloves. Just because I have to
I have to
fix
wear
things,
gloves.
gloves make it kind of annoying and difficult. But I usually,
If I don't wear gloves, my hands will literally turn into ice cube.
well, clearly, sir, you're not Canadian enough for this.
I didn't say I couldn't deal with it. I just said that they will turn into ice cubes.
That ability isn't ready.
And if I don't have to deal with it, I won't deal
That
with
ability
it.
isn't ready yet.
But I could definitely deal with it.
That's still recharging.
I personally like when my hands are ice cubes. No, well, the part where I work is only 40 degrees, so I don't know if you would really call that, like, freezer? But there is a minus 18 part of it, so, yeah.
Can't do that yet.
Deep freeze is deep freeze.
Can't do that yet.
I think that's what ours is set up, because if it ever goes above like 50 or 60, you have to basically like,
That ability isn't
that's
ready.
red alert.
Yeah.
Can't guess that yet.
No, it's not much different.
Do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't
Matter of
ready.
fact, it's probably the exact same.
It's probably just some sort of, like, FTA requirement for food, right?
Especially since I'm sure that
Can't guess that yet. Not ready yet.
since Purple
That
K
ability
is,
isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
I assume they still use the guidelines from Canada. It's a Canadian company.
Is it?
Yes.
Huh.
Circle K is Canadian, was founded by a Canadian.
I don't know the history of
I don't
Circle.
remember his I don't remember his first or I don't remember his first name, but it was
Johnny Circle.
I'm almost sure. No. Yeah. Well, actually, it says it was founded in 1951. I don't feel like it's that old.
I can't guess that yet. That spell isn't ready.
But from what I was always told, because the videos, when you go and like you have to do all the training videos, it doesn't refer to itself as a American company. It talks about, you know, Montreal,
That
Quebec,
ability isn't ready yet.
and just Canada.
I can't guess that yet.
Oh, so they'd be a French
That ability
Canadian
isn't ready
company.
yet. I can't do that
But it
yet.
says it was founded in El Paso, Texas. I don't get that. Maybe it was founded there, but then bought out by a Canadian. And he then turned it into a Canadian
That's still recharging.
franchise. And then,
Not ready yet.
I don't know.
That ability isn't ready yet.
I don't know.
Can't do that yet. That
But it's definitely owned now by,
do that yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet.
I forget his damn name, but he's Canadian.
Johnny Circle.
That's still recharging.
No, not no Johnny
That
Circle.
ability isn't ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability
It's the
isn't
Circle
ready yet.
family.
That's still recharging. That spell isn't ready yet. Not
Or
ready yet.
K, the people who own the jewelry company.
That's his name. It's like the weirdest name.
Voldemort.
No, not Voldemort.
You literally just said
badass
that's
name though.
what?
That'd be a badass name to have. Voldemort. My name is Voldemort.
That would be random. People would be like expecting you to be bald and be evil.
For the Alliance.
Right? 'Cause Harry Potter, Voldemort.
Man, Hanish.
That spell isn't ready.
Like Hannasch.
Can't do that yet. That ability isn't
Is the president and CEO.
do
of
that
Circle
yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I don't have a
You learn something new every day.
And also, like, he's the CEO of
I can't guess that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
Alimentation Kushitar. What the fuck
What?
is that?
I can't do that.
That's what it
Guess
says.
that yet.
Alimentation to the what?
Kushitar.
Not ready yet.
Words.
DOUCHE-TR or TARD.
Let's stay in charge. That ability isn't
Words
not ready
that
yet.
escape me. That are things that. Yeah. I'll just take your word for it. Alimentation. He's really good at the skateboard.
That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. Can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
It's French, dude.
I don't know what the fuck that is. It's obviously something French. That's like something. That's like something you tell somebody to look up when you want to prank them with something that they shouldn't probably see, right?
No. I believe that's gonna be Winks. Yeah, that's Winks. Winks, yeah. It's the word Kushtard stands for is for someone who stays up late. The type of person who goes to bed late. So it's basically owl. And the mascot.
Get it? I get it. I get it. It's
It's Winks.
fucking-
It's
the-
Winks.
the-
It's
this
like
fucking word and pronunciation of some words. Couche-tard. You're a couche-tard.
Light bless you.
your mom's a Kushtard.
Like a dirty fucking slur. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. 100%. See that Kushtard over there? It's totally, yeah, like, I 100% agree with you. It's just, yeah. It's basically French for owl. And alimentation, I'm guessing, is like company or something like that.
It's. I think it. From when I looked it up. I guess it's the people who bring who own like the Polar Pop drinks and stuff that we sell at Circle K and shit. And it's just a overall group of.
I can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't
Because
ready
there's Circle K,
yet. Not ready yet.
there's
Let's
that
stay in
one,
charge.
that
I
owl
can't guess that yet.
Winks.
logo that I'm assuming is a store.
Winks.
Isn't ready yet.
And then Ingo.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's Ingo. You've never lived until you've been to Ingo.
Indigo?
Not ready yet.
No, Ingo. Ingo.
That ability
Like bingo without...
INGO.
Okay.
You Ingo. You Ingo store.
You go store. No, but like bingo without the B.
That ability isn't ready yet.
Dingo without the D.
That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
It's what they say when they're mad at you. You Ingo store now.
No, that would be you go out store. You out go store. You out go store.
Let's stay in charge.
That's
You
so
out go
funny.
store and never come back.
Ready yet. Not
I
ready yet.
can't believe this. Like, it's still funny to me when I find out about words in other languages that just sound like the worst possible things you could say to somebody. They're the most innocent The most innocent meanings, but they sound horrible.
Someone who goes to bed late and it sounds like, well, koosh turd.
Sounds like you're being racist.
Do that yet. That
I
ability
wouldn't say racist, but it definitely
Yeah, like the koosh. Koosh.
it reminds me of douche, right?
not ready yet. That ability is
Yeah.
It's not racist. That's just like something mean you say to people.
There's something mean the French guy says to you when you piss him off.
Which is like shower in French or something like that, anyways.
I need to get closer. I can't do that yet. I can't cast that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That's still recharging.
You're just mad because you can't koosh turd.
That ability isn't ready yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Totally koosh
Not
tart.
ready yet. I can't do that yet.
You have a koosh turd.
The funniest shit to me is to imagine somebody
That
who's
ability
never
isn't ready yet.
been like heard us before coming in the streaming with us. That's talking about koosh tart. The fuck did they call me?
Koosh turd. You're a night owl.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. It's too far away.
What's funny about that is one of my friends right now has a French foreign exchange student that's staying with him for the month. I should message him and be like, hey, you should go and walk up to her and say you are a koosh
That
tart.
ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet.
She probably would be like, okay.
Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready.
But she didn't really actually speak French.
Can't do that yet.
But she thank you for being
She's
an
a
asshole.
sham French person.
There's plenty of people that have grown up in countries and not learned the language.
That's still recharging. That
Whoa.
ability
I'm not saying it's beneficial at all, but like it definitely happens.
Not ready yet.
Like if I was gonna live in France, Germany, or any other country, I would
That's still recharging. That ability
would
isn't ready yet.
prefer to be
I
able to
can't
talk
cast that yet.
when I had to.
Not ready yet. Can't do that yet.
You gotta be able to, you know,
That
speak
ability.
the koosh turd.
Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready
Be
yet.
able to ask where the bathroom is.
Exactly, that too. That's even a greater point. Où est la bibliothèque? That's all you gotta say.
I'm not even gonna try and say that. So that sound like you just put a hex on me.
No, I just asked where the library is.
That's like something here. Yeah, it sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
Sure.
It sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
Why you gotta hate on the French?
Can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Uh,
Not ready yet. That ability
Où est la bibliothèque? That's all you gotta say.
not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Can't do that yet.
I would definitely make sure to say
Not
that
ready yet. That
and
ability
butcher
isn't
it
ready yet.
horribly.
Still recharging.
That's not that hard. Come on.
Probably end up
If my
insulting
sorry ass
somebody.
could say that, like, it's not that
That
hard.
ability isn't ready yet.
Me and speaking French is not very good. Me and
Wouldn't be able to
speaking
tell you
English is
because
not
I'm even
very
worse.
good.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
See, I shouldn't have told you that it was you were asking where the library was, so you'd actually go up to someone and say, yes, I think you're asking where the bathroom
I am
is.
not ever gonna try to say that. The people down here would look at me like I'm stupid.
Well, yeah, they don't speak French there, but if you ever come to Quebec, like, you go to a Habs game if you know, do copious amounts
Definitely
of
gonna
drugs
make
or
it to
something.
Montreal. I wish I could go on vacation, but I ain't got that kind of money, especially not Canada money.
Oh yeah, or like,
Yeah, don't I have to pay for a passport to even get through like the border? to
okay,
go into
sure,
Canada?
that, yeah. I don't know how much a passport is.
Probably not cheap. And it'd be my luck I get stuck on the other side of the border anyway.
Then you're here forever and ever and ever
I
and
don't think it
ever.
works like that though. I would
That's
get.
how it works.
They would kick me back to America, man.
You'd have to get a job at Tim Hortons.
Light be with you.
Basically already work
Go with
at a
honor,
convenience store. That pretty much is probably
Tim Hortons isn't a
exactly like.
convenience store. What are you talking about?
Well, it's a gas, or not Tim Hortons, but Circle K is basically just a fucking mini mart with gas station.
Okay, but
into it.
neither of that is.
And they got coffee, so, you know. All kinds of coffee, actually. Got cappuccinos, they got,
Can I help you?
I don't drink coffee, so I don't remember the other special fucking
met.
coffees that you
Keep your
can.
feet on the ground.
I don't even like coffee.
I like coffee. Coffee's good. In like small doses.
I
When
will
you
drink
go to-
iced coffee.
Whenever I go to Alimentation Couche-Tard. Oh, I'm a child. And I
I
don't
wish
get
they
coffee.
need to rename that store from Winks and just call it Couche-Tard now. Never not be funny. Some words are just always going to be funny to me.
Great to
Sorry,
meet you.
Chris. Well, hey, we're winning. Good job.
Who are
I
you
would've
playing?
been mad. We were just talking about the Dolphins, man. Come on, keep up.
Oh. Well, there could have been multiple games on right now.
No, Thursdays is only usually. I don't think there's ever been. Thursdays and Mondays are one game days because they're considered like the
How come I keep saying I'm playing
primetime games.
that game?
I don't know the word for it, but like the primetime games. So there's only one game those days. Whereas Sunday is just Sunday. Yes, I know. That's very informative information I just gave you. It will change your life forever.
Worker. There we go. Now it's saying I'm playing a game. Ooh,
Oh, it
what-
said you were playing Final Fantasy 14.
I know.
I was gonna make a comment on it, but I figured you did that on purpose.
It's the new Final Fantasy 14 expansion. It's the Blood Death Knight expansion.
Final Fantasy 14, man. Well,
I haven't
I
played
like
that game
Final
in a
Fantasy, but like, I have heard, and I know this is generalizing, I have heard that a lot of people only play that game. Like, the majority of people who play that game are horny teenagers.
while. I don't know. Cat girls, come on. If cat girls are wrong,
Open
then
your
maybe
heart
some
to the
people don't
light.
want to be right.
I mean, I didn't say I
May your
disagreed.
days be
I
long,
just said
and
that's
your
what
heart
Why you
Trust
gotta
me.
hate on the cat girls?
May the light embrace you. Remember the
One of
lessons
these
the
days-
past.
Your waifu
can I
will
do
be a
for you?
cat girl.
For the Alliance.
You give me way too much fucking credit. Way too much credit.
Well, your waifu has to be something. What's your waifu if it's not a cat girl? Exactly.
prefer my long distance relationships.
You're in a long distance relationship with a cat girl. She's just an Eorzean.
Technically, they are playing a female char, so not wrong, I guess.
Long distance
Right.
relationship.
So, like, female char, that's a cat, and it is a girl. So,
Who plays a female char?
like, female char, what are you trying to say?
What's wrong with you?
A lot of things. Thank you for asking.
Female char. It's like playing a female Tauren. Don't exist.
See you around.
Actually, I can't argue the fact that I would never choose female Tauren over the male. I will not doubt that.
There are
The
certain
problem with
races
female
that
Tauren, like the female Tauren, just look proportionally like the body portions look look weird to me
Have a good one.
compared to the male Tauren.
but there are certain races in every game that do not have, in my opinion, the option of another sex. There's only female now. There's only female blood elves.
Be good.
Yeah, but Char are not one of those.
Off with you.
In
Like,
Char, they just don't
Tauren-
exist.
Nah, you just
I'm just not into the furry thing, yeah.
Not ready yet.
don't even have to be a furry. to
I'm
be
not into
that.
big giant things. Like, come on, I'm into like little
You're
pink-haired
into
gnomes.
That spell isn't ready yet.
I'm
That
not
ability
able to
isn't
say
ready
anything.
yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
The lollies.
Not ready yet.
Not so much. No, not that. I like the short ones.
That ability isn't ready yet. Not
Like,
ready yet.
you like the I guess the unoffensive term is little people.
Can't do that yet. That spell
I wouldn't say that shit.
Not ready yet. That's still in charge. Can't do that yet.
You like
That
them
ability
to be
isn't
small
ready.
and
Can't that yet.
be able to pick them up.
I was gonna say I like pocket-sized people. If I can fit them in my pocket, like Sarah.
Can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
All have our
That ability isn't ready
kinks.
yet.
No,
That's
It's
not
not really a
Powers.
kink. It's just pretty much every girl I've ever dated has been short.
Still a king. Still definitely a king.
But it's not something I ever really thought of until later. That's the thing. Usually if you're like, there's a realization if you're like a furry or someone like that, that you're like, oh yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah, but usually like that type of shit usually happens exactly like that. It's just usually
Not ready yet.
it starts early and you don't realize it until
That
you're older.
ability isn't
Like,
ready yet.
it still happens like that regardless. Like I wasn't. People don't just like 5-year-olds don't immediately just realize that type of shit, right?
What are you talking about? 5-year-olds are totally into.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Fair.
Okay, so I was going the wrong way. I thought I was going the wrong way for a second. Five-year-olds and their like kinky fetishes of Barbies.
Not ready yet. I can't do that
Mom, I
yet.
watched
That
Space
ability
Jam.
isn't ready. I need to-
I'm really into LeBron James.
I can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
Let that fall
That
the name.
ability
That's
isn't
how many
ready.
original.
Not ready yet. That's
They
what
want. Yeah, but most 5-year-olds now would have watched bad Space Jam, not good Space Jam. I haven't even seen either Space Jam, so I can't really even speak.
It was good for the
Not
time.
ready yet. I don't have a target.
Like,
The
neither of them
LeBron
were.
James Space Jam?
No, the Michael Jordan.
Ability isn't ready yet.
Even though I now hate Michael Jordan, I don't like him.
Have you seen the new
I
one?
can't cast that yet.
No, but I don't want to see it. Because it'll ruin it.
What are you
It's why I
talking
didn't
about?
watch the. It's literally why I did not watch the live action Lion King.
Okay, well that's just common sense. That's just one of those things that it's like, okay, uncanny valley. Here we are.
Like, don't get me wrong, I would. I mean, it wasn't even because it was live action. It was just I didn't agree with how political that fucking movie became. It became a. It became a movie where people were saying that no people of certain color can be involved because it takes place in a certain region.
Well, that's kind of what they're doing with what's the Little Mermaid, right? They're like getting all uppity because who's the actress that's gonna play her this time?
I don't know her name. You talking about the black lady? Is she black?
Yeah.
I don't.
And you're like, oh,
I don't
she
think that's
can't be
different
that.
though. Like,
It's like, no, she can be whatever. It's a story. It can be whatever it
that's
wants to be.
different though. That I'm fine with that. But when you have the whole entire cast, like even like people apparently think because it's set in Africa, white people don't exist in Africa, when they definitely do. And that's what they were saying when it came to the cast of that movie, basically. No white people because there's no white people in Africa. That is fucking bullshit.
The thing is it really doesn't matter. It's just a freaking story, anyways. It's like, how realistic does it have to be? Like,
And it's a movie about fucking lions. So.
exactly. Like, it's a movie about talking fucking cats. Like, come on, people.
Like, I get there's some,
Like, if you're gonna,
like Swahili gods, like, shit like that, and, like, there's not actual Swahili gods, but, like, there's a lot of nods to, like, their culture and their worship, what they worship and shit in those movies, even in the original.
well, Disney has, like, that type of stuff in every movie. Not Swahili
But
gods,
that
but
doesn't-
like references to like real life stuff.
But that doesn't mean that you can just be like, oh, you know, it's in Africa, it's Swahili, it's lion.
It's just a story.
Only black people
like,
allowed. Right?
it's a story. Anyone can be allowed. Like it's
But, like,
just like the
having
Little Mermaid. Like
Aries being, or what is that her name?
Ariel.
You got my attention.
Ariel. How come I'm thinking Ariel? Ariel being black, I don't care about that fucking shit. Only reason I would ever care
Watch
about
your
something
back.
of
Interest
that
on the
is if
brain.
they tried to put that whole, look at us, we are so cool, we made the character black narrative
Be
above
good.
the actual fucking movie. That would be the only reason I'd actually care. Because then you're just looking for brownie points.
But yeah,
Right.
stuff like that's just.
That's just being political for the sake of being political when it doesn't.
The thing is like with me, when it comes to that stuff, I'm not even gonna watch any of those
No,
movies.
that's
so-
why I didn't watch The Lion King, and you know how much I love The Lion King. If
Yeah,
I-
but you might actually watch that type of stuff. Like, I have 0% chance of watching any of that shit.
I haven't really watched hardly any. I don't think. I'm trying to think of some of the live actions other than The Lion King, and now they're talking about The Mermaid and shit. What else they've done? 'Cause I can't even remember the last time I've watched a animated into live action reboot. I didn't even watch the Aladdin one.
Dan Aladdin one?
Yeah, Will Smith, Genie.
Did he slap Aladdin at one point?
I can't cast that yet.
No, that was long before that happened.
I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
Which I haven't heard any. Like,
That's still recharging.
The problem with Aladdin was nobody's. Will Smith might be a good actor, and he is in certain movies. But the problem is, you're trying to fill the shoes of Robin Williams.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do that.
Yeah. Will Smith never had that much energy.
Nobody had that much energy. I'm sorry. Nobody could fill the shoes of Robin
Early
Williams.
Jim Carrey.
No, because they're entirely different. Like they're both like
Energy, though.
hyper
energy.
energetic, but Jim Carrey was more on the crazy.
I can't do that yet.
He was physical. He was physical. He was, yeah.
I can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
Like,
That ability isn't ready.
There's certain people you just can't replicate. You can maybe get close, but you'll never fully replicate them.
Clearly, you know, it's like that with anyone who's like iconic. You're iconic for a reason, right?
I mean,
There's never going to be another Jim Carrey. There's never going to be another Chester Bennington. There's never going to be another, you know,
Not ready yet. I can't do
name
that
it.
yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. That's still recharging. That still isn't ready yet.
Never going to be another Fred Durst.
That ability isn't ready yet.
Not
Not
iconic.
yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready
I
yet.
didn't mind Fred Durst.
That's still recharging.
He took a genre and made it his own. Good on him.
Sure. Sure.
Same way that
Not ready yet. That ability isn't
Chad, whatever the hell his last name is, did with Nickelback.
Yeah, but Nickelback's actually half decent.
Yeah, so is some of the damn songs from Limp Bizkit. You don't listen to Hot Dog Water and Starfish. Like, he had good songs. He just would rather have just put out shit that sounded good to people who were drunk as fuck.
Off with you.
Which, I mean, that's a valid way to do it if you want to do it.
Party
that way.
Rock. Come on. The LMFAO people did that. I should do the trampled skeletons. Kind of at the next. You know, technically, I should spend my talent point.
And if we're talking about music, wholeheartedly would say there will never be another. There will never be another Maynard. There will never be another Lane Staley. There will never be another Trent Reznor. Because even if I meme on him just to irritate you, he is a one of a kind person.
Who's Lane
Everybody
Staley?
is.
This isn't me even trying to be annoying. Who's Lane Staley? Like, what's he part of?
Lane Staley was Alice in Chains.
Okay, I thought I figured I should know, but see, I was gonna say that about Maynard, but I'm like, no, you know that I know who he is. I didn't actually know the name of anyone in Alice in Chains.
Lane Staley was the original, and then they hired that guy to replace him, who was never the same.
Well,
but
you could say the same
but
thing about
nobody
Kurt
can-
Cobain.
It's still recharging.
yeah, Kurt Cobain couldn't be replaced.
Dave Grohl.
Sure, I never liked Dave Grohl.
I can't catch
He's
that.
that as well.
Not ready
yeah.
yet. That
I don't
ability
like him.
isn't ready yet. Not ready yet.
I don't know how he is now,
Not ready yet.
but back in the day, I didn't like him as a person. I don't care music or not. I just didn't like him.
I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet.
Might be different nowadays. I don't know.
I don't know. I've always been a Foo Fighters fan. They were one of the original bands I started liking when I was young.
Like, I don't know if it was him or not. I don't remember if it was Dave Grohl or who. Alright, because I honestly, I will openly admit to you, I don't know enough about that era. Who was the singer for Pearl Jam?
Definitely not Dave Grohl.
Who was the singer though?
No clue. No clue. You'd have to Google
Was
it.
it the same guy? Wasn't it? Was it the same guy that did was the singer for Soundgarden.
I can't use that item yet.
I don't know that either. No, Dave Grohl is the guy who used to be the drummer for the...
Whoever did the song Jeremy.
No, definitely not Dave Grohl.
Well, I know it wasn't Foo Fighters who did Jeremy. But I'm saying that it was Pearl Jam, but
It's one of those bands that I've never paid attention to. Pearl Jam, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. They're-
Alice in Chains will be legendary forever, just for the fact that they were
your opinion.
the ones who inspired Nirvana to begin with.
Is Alice in Chains in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Don't know.
Not that really like
But if they're,
makes
they're
you
not,
as an artist.
They should be, but they 100% should be if they're not. But I don't know if they are or not.
No, like I said, there are bands that I just never paid attention to.
I've
They're
said
definitely
this before. Alice in Chains would be like
Malice and Grains.
top 3 all time. Maybe even maybe even number 1 at times.
Okay, so that would be Tool and who else?
Oh,
Clearly Nickelback.
maybe when I was 12.
Look at their photograph.
Arcanon
Hey
Post.
Sarah, how's it going?
Be kind to those less fortunate.
See,
See, with Maynard, I'd have to like. I wouldn't want to put him in a because he's got 3 bands. I like all 3 bands, so I would have to like put them all together as like just one, because otherwise it wouldn't be fair.
ooh, what are you eating, Sarah? And okay, so Tool. What are his other bands?
Lucifer and the Perfect Circle.
Don't forget the one that would have been the best out of everything he would have done. Tapeworm.
That wasn't a band. That was just a project they were gonna do.
Oh, it would have been a band. It would have been a supergroup. Ooh.
From what I heard, it wasn't. That was just both of them saying. Nah.
And Charlie, there was like 4 people in it. It was Atticus Ross, him, Maynard, and I think it was Charlie Closer or Danny Launer or something. There was another person who was in, yeah.
I don't understand the fact that maybe they were just.
I need to get closer.
I'm sorry. Even if you sit there, 'cause their excuse was they didn't feel like they were. It was good enough to live up to their.
That wasn't a
name.
they, that was a one person, and that was a person you will be mad at because that was a Trent Reznor.
Let's stay in charge. I can't do
He
that
left
yet.
Tapeworm because he didn't think the stuff was good enough.
Well, his love.
So,
That spell isn't ready.
but spring rolls,
Do that yet.
I like.
I can't be mad at him for making a decision. I'm not gonna be mad at him because he left, but I will say
Not ready yet.
fucked
Can't
up.
do that
But
yet.
never get off him.
Let's stay in charge.
Spring rolls are one of those things I haven't had in a while. I haven't had any sort of Chinese food in a while.
I can't fix that yet. Can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
And
Not ready yet.
really,
That ability
they
isn't
put out
ready
that
yet.
song.
That spell isn't ready yet.
If that owl or whatever they were doing was gonna sound like the song that they actually did release as with his lyrics, the Potions
I'm out of
Potions song
Do that
that he
yet.
released.
Not ready yet. I can't do that yet.
Well, there's like 2 or 3 songs that have been released over the years. There's Potions, one that Vacant,
That ability is
and I think there was
Like-
another
not
one.
ready yet. That ability
Potions
isn't
is
ready
one
yet.
of,
I can't do that yet.
ironically, one of Maynard's best songs. So like,
Yeah, I actually
If
kind of feel
that's
like
not-
those now.
I can't fix that yet.
if
Not ready yet. I can't do
he
that
thought
yet.
that wasn't good,
Not ready
then
yet.
obviously
That
he
ability
was.
isn't ready yet. That spell isn't ready yet. Not
He was
ready
a
yet.
little bit.
That
Well, you gotta
Shut
think
up.
this was like when Trent Reznor was getting clean. So he was kind of in a different mind state at that point than where he had been before. A, and then
But he was
B.
the one that wrote the fucking song.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
But
so
where
it-
you, the thing is like, I don't know if you've ever written poetry or something like that, but
Yes, I
when
have.
you write something and say you're like 16 and then you look back at it when you're 18, it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
always
cringe.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be like that. He wrote something while he was drunk and was like, okay, well, this doesn't represent who I am anymore.
Yeah, but you don't just fucking run. Yeah, I wouldn't just run off. I would just be like, nah, I'm good. Let's not do that. I'll figure something else out, right? I'm-
I don't think I've ever had a
Let's
bad
go
spring roll.
recharging.
I'm pretty sure
Not
most
ready yet. That
people
ability isn't
would
ready yet.
rather,
Do
like
that
most
yet.
people in that scenario would not have any problem.
Can't do
Like,
that
okay, well
yet.
let's
That ability isn't ready yet.
write something different here,
Yeah,
right?
but the thing is that that project had already gone on for years anyways. So it's like you get to a point where your only songs are songs that you don't want to like,
That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready
you
yet.
don't want to
Well,
release
I mean, I hate to
because,
say it, but like, if you don't like what you write when you get drunk, you know that should be a pretty big, like,
well, he
wake
stopped
up
getting
call
drunk,
to
that's
not,
the thing. Like,
right. don't at least don't write when you're drunk.
Can't do that yet.
that's kind of what he did in around 2002.
I need to get
He
closer.
stopped getting drunk because he went to rehab.
Hey,
That spell isn't ready
if that's the case, we're just
Not ready
speculating.
yet. I can't do
Yeah,
that
you
yet.
might
But
like who
if-
you are when you're drunk.
No, I'm saying him not liking what he wrote being why he left, but that's just speculation, really.
No, that's
We know
literally what
he-
he said.
Well,
Interviews have happened. There are many people who are like, what the fuck, why didn't you ever release anything as tapeworm? Like, officially, because those songs are not official, like, released tapeworm songs.
yeah, but you know as good as I do, sometimes people would just say shit out of their, like, talk out of their ass.
Well, that's what he said in 2005 in an interview,
That
so.
ability isn't ready yet.
I get it, like, but I'm saying there could have been multiple reasons and he just chose one.
Well, yeah, he might not have liked Maynard or blah 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 blah, or there was a falling out with one of the other members, which wouldn't have made sense because Atticus Ross is in 9 Inch Nails, so that'd be weird.
I don't think it really had. I don't think it would have anything to do with not liking anybody. They all seem like that's one thing I would say. Trent Reznor and Maynard are kind of two peas in a pot, so to speak, in terms of personality. I don't feel like they would.
Yeah,
not
but that
get
doesn't
along.
mean you're gonna get along 100% if someone's just like you.
That ability isn't ready yet.
No, but it does mean you have a better chance of getting. They're both like. Well, I will not say the videos I've seen of Trent when he's not actually like performing, he's very quiet.
Yes.
He don't really talk, and Maynard is the exact same way.
I should have sent you the video a couple days ago. Because when 9 Inch Nails got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, COVID was, like, peak COVID was happening. It was 2020. And so they finally went back, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame had a 9 Inch Nails day. And so they did like a free concert and everything like that. And like as kind of a surprise, they had a bunch of members of old 9 Inch Nails come and like play parts of the concert, and it was really cool. They had like Richard Patrick, who I don't know if you know what the band Filter is.
Even if I did know their names, I enjoy 9 Inch Nails, but I'm not. I will never be the fan of 9 Inch Nails you are. So.
Oh well, yeah, I'm like literally fanboy 9 Inch Nails number like, yeah.
Yeah,
I was the weird person who, when the slip came out and I found out that it was numbered, I like drove all over like Essex County trying to find the coolest number CD that I could. I wasted hours driving to like Leamington and stuff like that.
Even with bands I am super fan.
The only song, Sarah, I know of Filter is Hey Man, Nice Shot.
And the backstory of that song is very good.
That's only a rumor. He has never confirmed or denied it.
No, he actually said that in an interview, I believe, and confirmed that his friend and them were watching the news. Or watching, the news when it was happening. And his friend was the reason he made that song.
No, I from what I've read, people accused him of saying it was about Cobain.
It was about a certain person who was high in political power and decided to remove himself from the world on live news television.
No, from what I've been told, it was Hey Man, Nice Shot. It was rumored to be about Cobain when it first came out, but he's never confirmed or denied it. And I will listen to that song when I'm done, obviously, because I cannot copyright stuff on stream. But yeah, Filter is a bit like the one song I know is like, okay, this is a good band.
No, but what I'm saying is that I can 100% tell you it's not about Kurt Cobain.
Oh yeah.
It's about that other guy I'm talking about.
Sure.
Back in, this was back when YouTube was actually not really caring about what they put on YouTube, and someone decided to actually upload the actual TV footage from that day.
And it probably lasts all of 20 minutes before someone reported it.
Oh, no. It stayed on YouTube for years.
It's gone now, clearly. Because YouTube cares about that thing now.
I don't know. I actually don't know.
Oh, I'm sure you can still find stuff like that on YouTube before it gets taken down.
I don't even remember the guy's name, but yeah. It was a very tragic story about that person.
But yeah, but Richard Patrick, before he founded Filter, was in obviously 9 Inch Nails because he was part of that concert a couple days ago.
Bud Dwyer.
He was like the original guitarist or something like that.
Good day to you. See you later.
I don't know exactly what he did. There was a lot. The footage I saw of what instrument he was playing was very of low quality. It was cell phone. But because of the band, I will watch cell phone quality things for 9 Inch Nails. So, because it's one of those like iconic things that it's like, okay, there's only ever going to be one of those concerts. Like, don't get me wrong, they should do a total tour like that. That would be so fucking epic. Just go city to city and have like a different lineup every day.
What can I do for you?
Of like old 9 Inch Nails people.
For the Alliance.
Like, just think about that. Like, I'm trying to think of another band that has had a lot of lineup changes over the years. That could do something like that. Because there aren't too many bands that, like, their lineup changes as much as Nine Inch Nails.
The only song I ever heard from Filter was that song, and that was only because that song will forever be stuck in my head just because of the why it was made. Like, you don't forget something like that, because I'd watched that video when I was younger, and that type of shit is not something that kids should see. And the fact that it was on YouTube.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard that song in years anyways. But they played it live at the concert. It was the second last song in the set list. And it was like, oh yeah, that song. I remember that song. That's
But no,
thing.
it was about a Pennsylvania state treasurer who was being convicted of, falsely, by the way. The sad part about that is they found out years later he was completely innocent. He was falsely convicted of charges. They wanted to take his, like, all the money he had saved up for his family, and basically at that time, the moment he would have went to jail, he would have lost control of all of that money, and it would have went back to like the government or whatever, whoever controls the money, basically. So his solution was to kill himself to let his family get the money, because by that it would be in his will. That's where, and I can't remember the singer's name, but the singer said when they were watching that, his friend in an interview was like, yeah, my friend was like, dude, you gotta make a fucking song about this.
I'm pretty sure the singer of Filter is Richard Patrick.
Yeah, but that's how it happened, man. His friend was like, dude, we gotta make a fucking song about this. This is the craziest shit I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, well, obviously don't know too much about that band, but yeah, that's... I really should. I kind of have an urge to go back. I don't know if they still make stuff, and listen to, like, some of the songs and just be like, okay, I did this thing for like 10 minutes. Half hour. However long I listen to it. Depends on how good it is. I gotta go over here, okay. But yeah. No, Filter, like I said, Richard Patrick, I guess you could say started in Nine Inch Nails before that, so. There's been a lot of, like, people over the years that have ended up in other bands that were in Nine Inch Nails, but that's just because, like, Nine Inch Nails has had a lot of people over the years.
See you
It's
around.
like, it's like Metallica had a lot of people. One of the Metallica had so many people try out for them over the years that went on to be legendary in their own bands.
Because I haven't heard of that song, Sarah. Discography. They have 2 platinum albums. The first song they ever released was, for, like, single was Hey Man, Nice Shot. The one you're thinking of came out in 1999 and is their highest charted. So.
Yeah, I would say even if they were a one-hit wonder, Hey Man, Nice Shot would have definitely been the one-hit wonder.
No,
More
Take a
so.
Picture actually hit #1 in Canada and was higher, #3 in the US, and was definitely their bigger hit. Don't get me wrong, Hey Man, Nice Shot peaked at #10, so it's not like it was too far behind.
Never heard of that.
They had another one called Where Do We Go From Here that peaked at #11. So they had a couple ones around #10.
Never heard any of those. Or if I have, I don't remember. I'll put it that way.
I'm sure I probably heard it because we're talking 1999. Yeah, Richard Patrick is the singer. So, lead vocals, multiple instruments. Say that 10 times fast. Yeah, they had Josh Freese. He's a touring musician. I know him. I know who John 5 is because that's Manson.
John 5 played for everybody at some point before he settled down with Rob Zombie.
No, that's, yeah.
Just certain people, and like just like you don't listen. I don't think you even listen to that genre of music. So, but it's like people from that work with Ozzy Osbourne will always travel around. The guitarist Zach Wilde that worked with Ozzy Osbourne has worked with like
What can I do for you?
4 or 5 legendary metal bands here, damn near. Just because, one, he's really good at what he does, and 2, he's worked with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, when you get to be so good that you work with, like... Do I want to trigger people right now?
It's like working for, Alice Cooper is another.
See, I could really, really, really just like purposely go out of my way and try and trigger, because I know being like, yeah, overrated 80s hair metal band. Ozzy Osbourne. I'm not a fan of.
Ozzy Osbourne was definitely not hair metal.
Kiss?
Metal, but not.
Sure.
Yes, was hair metal, sure.
They were paint their
glam
face
metal.
and look like idiots, but sure. Definitely not a fan of Kiss. They were okay. They were Bud Rock. They were arena rock.
They were glam rock. That's
Yeah,
why I said
okay,
glam rock.
sure.
Like, they're not hair metal.
Yeah,
or anything
yeah,
like
it was
but
the
they're
wrong
glam
term.
metal.
Hair metal is, yeah.
I definitely wouldn't put Ozzy Osbourne in that scenario at all.
Oh,
That man hardly has any hair.
I was gonna say he has hair. What are you talking about? He's metal and he has hair. Like, it's hair metal. Like, if you shed, you get hair in your metal.
I don't like his either, though, so I will agree with you. And I respect them for doing what they did with a very unpopular, in my opinion, unpopular genre of metal. But I don't really care about it. I don't care about them.
80s rock music in general was kind of like 80s music in general is kind of that like bad decade, and I'm just like, don't get me wrong, there were good parts. They were good parts. But as a whole, the 80s was of lower quality than what came before it and what came after.
That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet.
You have that right to that opinion.
I can't guess that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
I would say there's numbers. I would say, I'm sure there's people who would say 70 or 60, 90.
Don't get me wrong, 90s wasn't the greatest either, but it at least had 9 Inch Nails for the whole decade.
I had 9 Inch Nails for like late 80s,
For 1 year.
didn't they? Still a
1
fucking
year, 9 Inch Nails released their first album in '89.
And had, say, Alice in Chains, late 80s, first. Same with Nirvana.
Yeah, but they were all more prolific in the 90s.
Anybody's gonna be more prolific once they become super fucking famous, right?
Yeah, but the reasons they became super famous were all in the 90s, not... Nobody remembers 9 Inch Nails for Pretty Hamish, and they remember them for Hurtin' them. Close.
That's a very drastic.
Nobody remembers Nirvana for Bleach, they remember it for Nevermind. You know I'm right.
Definitely people that do.
Yeah, but all those ones were definitely the ones that were more remembered.
I would
My
argue
English is
the
great.
only reason certain albums and music go unrecognized is because, especially at the end of a decade, like like you said, it's the last year of the 80s, everything's changing. Like, you know how back then every fucking like 5 to 10 years, everything changed, style, how you dress.
See, Sarah, the reason why I'm saying 80s music sucks is because New Wave. New Wave kind of makes that music... Yeah. I'm not a big fan of New Wave. Like, don't get me
I'm
wrong.
not a big fan of techno, but I don't hate the whole the whole decade of music of techno.
Yeah, but New Wave was like the big thing at that point. It was the New Wave.
That's like the people who hate a whole decade because disco started.
Yeah. Valid. You're allowed to hate whatever you want to hate.
Absolutely. It's just, it doesn't make it exactly fair to everybody in general, though. Oh, I don't like this band because some other band in an entirely other genre was...
Yeah, but we're
Or
saying
entirely
all
different
music
genre
in that
music,
genre,
right?
that decade. Like, don't get me wrong, like, there were good rock, there's good rock music, there's good, thing in every decade. It's just, if we're saying music in general, music in general was taken down a few pegs in the 80s because of New Wave.
Even music genres that I like have shit. Like, even genres of music that you like are gonna have.
Well, yeah, rock music has Nickelback.
They're not awful, they're just one-dimensional.
And that
They went
one
with one
dimension
sound.
is not the greatest.
Yeah, but it got them where they wanted to be at in life. Can't hate them for that.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe I'm just jealous because, he got to be with Avril Lavigne. I don't know.
Not to sound rude, but I feel like a lot of people was with her in the early 2000s. Like, didn't the singer from Sum 41 date her also?
Mary.
Yeah. Like, I've never heard anything regarding relationships with her ending well.
Well,
That ability isn't ready yet.
if the relationship ends, can you say it ends well?
Still in charge.
Right? Generally speaking, you
Well,
don't
what I mean
end a
is that
relationship.
I've never heard of. Alright, a bad wording.
That ability
I have never heard of a relationship involving her that's lasted.
yet. That ability isn't ready.
There
You
you
can
go.
say that about like 99% of stars. Name a star that's been in a relationship for
That's
like
why you should not date
20
people
years.
because they are famous. Just because you shouldn't get with other famous people just because they're famous. You're gonna date somebody, you should at least.
You should date a poor
try
person.
and-
That way they have to stay with you.
That's not what I'm saying at all. You're taking words and putting them in my mouth.
You should only ever date homeless people because then they can't ever leave you.
Date somebody who you think shit's gonna last.
Oh, the dark. The dark.
Not
dark.
date somebody for clout. 'Cause
Oh,
that's a lot of what it is. People date other people just to get
cred.
like more credit or just be because they will make them more famous.
That ability isn't ready.
No, like I said, you should date. You should only date someone because they're poor.
Should have that's the case.
The absolute
Definitely.
nonsensicalness of that is what amuses me right now.
I can't guess that yet.
Like, I'm
Definitely should be,
imagining
like,
right now,
dating a
like,
famous person right now. if it's
I'm
four people
imagining,
just
like, Britney Spears going up to a poor person on the street and being like, will you marry
dating. You're
me?
my
Just like,
boyfriend now. Come on.
That ability isn't ready. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't guess that yet.
like, just the, like, absolute silliness of that.
Ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
So people see. That would literally be cartoonish.
Oh, yeah, that would be. At the same time, that would be one lucky person.
It depends on the era of Britney. If it's drug era Britney, hell no.
Yeah, it's peak bald Britney.
I forgot she went bald for a while. I had erased that from my memory. Thank you for.
It's the only Britney worth remembering.
I don't even remember why she did that shit.
And she got married to a dude for like 15 minutes and then divorced him and then married K-Fed and then divorced him and then went crazy.
Hey there.
Was it true
you
about
later.
her? Like, I had heard some very fucked up things that she used to do.
I don't know. I don't know her personally.
King's honor, friend.
Like, cartoons have made fun of the fact, and I've always wondered if there was certain truth in it. Have you ever? You remember the Family Guy episode where she like has the baby in her hand
No.
and like, I'll send it to you. I have to send you. Basically making fun of the fact she was
Careful.
a terrible mother.
I don't think she was probably that terrible of a mother. Everybody just kind of like kicking her when she was down.
Her
It's kinda-
problem was she gave her father power over her money. Who I don't care if you're family or not, you are not getting power over my wealth.
Well, how that happened is when she was like peak crazy, she was declared like unfit to like
Do that yet.
do her money.
I can't guess that yet. That ability isn't ready.
And so she needed basically someone to like do stuff for her. Okay, why? See, this is what I was talking about, my mouse going crazy sometimes. I really need to get a wired mouse.
The Family Guy episode, though, where they're making fun of her, where she's like holding she's on the phone,
That yet. That spell isn't
and
ready.
she's got her baby in her arm, and she mistakes like she
Ready yet. Do that yet. I need to do that.
he uses the baby's head as an ashtray.
Family Guy's just See, with stuff like that, that's not
Let's
really
still
that funny
recharge.
to me.
I'm out of range. That ability
This
isn't
is
ready.
the absurdity of it.
That ability.
Yeah, but
The actual act of it is not, but the absurdity of
it's like
Not ready yet. I can't
just
and
as
I wonder if
offensive
they're-
as it is, you know.
and that's what got me curious about how much
that
truth
yet. That ability
behind
isn't
that
ready yet.
account.
Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. That spell isn't
That's what
ready
drugs
yet.
will do to you, though. It got who was it? Who was the other blonde that was super famous back then? Paris Hilton. Wasn't
There was
that
a lot
Paris
of them.
Hilton?
There was ones that weren't even blondes too, like Lindsay Lohan.
Let's go recharge.
Maybe it's Lindsay I'm thinking of. I thought she
That
was
ability
blonde.
isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That spell isn't
Was she?
ready yet.
I always thought of her as a brunette. Then again, I never really thought of her, so you know, here we go.
Yeah, I guess in some pictures she looks like she has blonde hair, but in a lot of them, yeah, she's got brown hair. So,
Let's go recharge. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet. I can't do that.
it's definitely Paris Hilton I'm thinking of, though. That doesn't even look like. Paris Hilton is the one who, like, took a prison sentence for her, or like her driver or friend one day, because he was driving without a license or some shit.
I can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
I did not know that.
I can't cast that.
Money does not make you intelligent, obviously.
Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Let's go recharge it.
You know,
That spell isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet. I need to
But
look
yeah,
at something
it's-
first.
there were a lot of like, let's call them young ladies in the early 2000s who made a lot of bad decisions. There were a lot of guys who did that too. It's not just women. But yeah.
I can't cast that yet.
It seemed like back at that time, during that era, it was mostly
That
Britney
ability
Spears,
isn't ready
Paris
yet.
Hilton.
I can't do that yet.
Well, yeah, that was there was a stretch there where there were a lot of young females doing it, but those young
Just because at the
females were
time
at the
that
peak
was-
of their
that was just-
popularity. So
That and the fact that the genre of music and shit they were doing was
well,
that
Paris
just don't
Hilton
matter
was
to
never really music. She was just a rich girl who.
yeah, but she was. I'm more so talking about Britney.
I can't cast that yet. It's
Paris
too
was a
far away.
blonde, and
Not ready yet. That ability isn't
She's
ready
just,
yet.
you know,
Not ready yet.
rich girl because her parents own hotels. Oh yeah, I'm sure she released songs. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm sure she has albums, but the reason why
Yeah,
she has her
Eddie
money
Murphy.
is because of her parents,
Let's go recharge. I can't
right?
cast that yet.
Her
you
last
have
name
money,
is
you can
Hilton.
basically
She
do whatever the hell you want.
has that
let's be
hotel
honest.
money.
Do that yet. That spell isn't
Oh yeah,
ready
I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't have multiple albums.
You
Same
have
with like
money, you
Lindsay
can do
Lohan and like all them
whatever you
back
yet.
then.
Let's go recharge. Not ready yet.
That was kind of like the popular thing to do. Like, I'm in movies, let's do an album.
Yeah,
Guys did it too. Like,
what's his name?
either that or, hey, I married Britney Spears, I'm gonna come out with an album. Like K-Fed.
Eddie Murphy did a song with Rick James back in the day because he was famous, he was at the top of his popularity, and he was with Rick James, and like, let's make a song. I bet you I could go like #1 on the charts.
Did it?
They go in there, he made a song, and his song actually made like #1 or #2 on the chart. Very high. I don't remember exactly the number, but yeah, he won that bet.
Yeah, if you're good at making music, you know, can go far.
Let's go
If you're
It
bad,
also
you're
helps when you
K-Fed.
got somebody like Rick James.
Party, is that what it's called, Sarah?
Party all the time, yeah.
I can't that yet.
It sounds like a very 70s or 80s song.
Okay.
Not ready yet.
And party all the time and party all night and party every day. Like that
Yeah, it was
Kiss song.
something you'd probably like play. It would definitely have been popular. Which is most likely why it went so high on the billboards.
Rock and roll all night and party every day in Detroit.
I
It's
can't
the
dance
Kiss
that
song.
yet. I can't dance that yet. That still isn't
Yes, I know I'm actually like blending two songs together.
That's still recharging. I can't do that yet. That ability is
And yeah, I know you know a lot of music, Sarah. One of the reasons why we get along is because we have things in common.
That's still recharging.
It's just the music I like is
Do that yet.
different from the music you like.
I can't do that yet.
The troll in me says, but that's okay, you're allowed to be wrong.
Oh yeah, I forgot he made several, like 2 or 3 albums
That
back
spell
then as
isn't
well.
ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet.
Also, it was 80s music.
That
I
spell
kind
isn't
of a
ready.
generally, like, don't get me wrong, like, I don't go out and seek some types of music, but I can appreciate, like, certain, like, pop acts and stuff like that. Like, I can appreciate Britney Spears. I would never go out and seek her music. I wouldn't ever call myself a fan, but it's not like it's the worst thing I have ever heard. Like, it's not Nickelback.
You know what's funny about that though? Party All the Time reached a higher spot on the billboards than any of Rick James' actual songs he ever did. His solo tracks never got to the standing that Party All the Time did. The only reason it wasn't number 1 is because Lionel Richie was number 1.
No, that's a name I haven't heard in ages. I wonder what he's doing. Is he even still alive?
I think he's dead. I could be wrong. I'm sure he died years ago.
That's
Oh no, he's still alive.
that ability isn't ready.
Oh, that's right. He does
Not yet. Not ready yet. That ability
he
isn't
does like
ready.
some American Idol judge shit,
That spell isn't ready.
like singer
Like
show.
all washed up singers do nowadays.
I can't do
Like
that
when
yet.
you're no longer
Yet.
able to
That
like
ability isn't ready.
do things on your like
That's still recharging. That spell
you're no
isn't
longer relevant. You either go on American Idol or doing it like stay in Vegas for like the rest of your career.
That's still recharging.
Well, he's 73, so
Well,
I'd
Okay, sure. That too.
I'm pretty sure he probably can.
What are you talking about? You can tour when you're 73. The Rolling Stones do it. They do it and they're like 99.
The Rolling Stones are different.
The Rolling Stones are older than dirt and they still tour.
Not ready yet.
Same with Paul McCartney.
Same with AC/DC. They're like 80,
I can't
and they still
Exactly,
run around the
so-
stage and shit.
Lionel Richie could totally do it.
That's still
Yeah,
that ability isn't ready yet.
he's already rich. Why does he need to?
Because then he could become Richie.
No, he's already Richie. You don't need to be more Richie.
You can be Richie Richie.
Not ready yet. Can't do that yet. Not ready yet.
Oh.
It's kind of the same reason that a lot of singers just do like one show
Can't dance that yet.
a year
That
and
ability
just
isn't
Yeah, they go to Vegas and do like a stay for like a couple bucks here and there. Like,
or they just go into acting, or they go into TV or movies.
yeah.
That's what Rob Zombie did. He made money from his band over the years, and now he just makes movies. Does like 1 or 2 concerts a year. sells those out, and then has money to keep going with his movies. Like, the life, I guess.
Yeah, it's whatever you want. You know, there are people who I'm sure write books. Like, I'm talking about, like, stars and stuff like that. They're like, oh, I'm gonna write my memoirs. And there are people who...
I would never, like, some people's life is just, stars or not, is just too depressing to have memoirs about.
I have,
in my opinion.
Dave Grohl's book, Storyteller. That's a fucking awesome book. Got it for Christmas last year.
Also,
My mom was like, what do you want? And I'm
believe.
like, this is specifically what I want. The rest of shit, I don't care. I just want this book. So,
There's some people I wouldn't mind having their life
Trent Reznor.
memoir and shit for,
Can I
like
help you?
somebody like Johnny Cash, for example. That man lived a crazy fucking life. Or
Trent
did live
Reznor.
a crazy life. Anybody who lives to the age of like 90 something has a lot of stories that I would be interested in most of the time. I mean, they've lived through so much shit.
One of these days, you'll be there and you can write your memoirs. Back when I was young and I would spend all my time playing World of Warcraft.
You seriously think I'm gonna live to be 50?
I would walk uphill both ways to turning quests in on
I
hold.
will be lucky to make it to 40.
Yeah.
Like, you can't deny that.
No,
It's
I've always said that because of my whole cancer thing and all that. So I
Well,
can't.
I say it for an entirely different reason. Here's I can understand why you would think that way, but I just say it because
Go with honor.
You're
I
motivated.
say it because I stress and
Reliance.
fucking worry every single minute of the day, so I would end up eventually just giving myself a damn heart attack.
Where am I supposed to go? There's no person here. What turns in a quest? Do I have to go upstairs? And you look like, I was gonna say you look like a tanner.
But,
Oh, there you are, buddy.
at
The Legion's
At least
end
you-
draws near.
Unless something's changed, at least you don't have to worry about that shit no more.
Blessings upon you,
I've been having to deal
family. Be
with
kind to those less
the
fortunate.
fallout of that. I was
What do you mean the fallout?
part of the reason why I haven't streamed in a while is because I had to have an emergency vitamin D injection because they fucked up my dosage so much that I was almost hospitalized. It's something I've alluded to, saying that health problems. But yeah,
I hadn't heard.
yeah, because I kind of went radio silent because I was just like feeling very, very, very shitty for like in July they changed the dosage. After my surgery, they I was on 800 units, they call it, of vitamin D, and they then they dropped it to 400, so they cut it in half. And after a couple weeks, I just started feeling so tired, and I couldn't figure out why. Because, like, obviously, it's a slow process type thing that happens, right? Like, it didn't clue in, okay, I'm taking less of this medicine, right? And so that's why I wasn't streaming, because I would just, like, sleep literally all day. And So I went 2 weeks ago to endocrinologist, and like I had gotten blood work done and everything before that, and he's like, your vitamin D is so low, we need to give you an injection right now because you probably have no energy. It's dangerously low. And then they upped my dosage to 2,000 units. So 5 times since then. So that's how off they were.
But the cancer's still on
Yeah. The cancer should be good, but you know, it's the dosages of other
there.
things
It's
that
the other
totally
shit.
totally matters, that, you know. Yeah, it's what I was worried about pre-surgery is that it's gonna take like a couple years to like really get like the dosage perfect, and it's a lot of frustration and annoyance, and like going from I feel great, I feel horrible, I feel great, I feel horrible, I feel great, until they get to that point, and it's just not fun, right? Like
5 times isn't working. Like the
The
current,
Maru have not forgotten
the
us.
re-dosage isn't working, is what I'm saying.
no, I feel fine now. I feel back to normal.
Good
It's
health,
just
long life.
Before that, I get what you're saying.
yeah, before, and then it's they also had to up my thyroid medicine, which was less of a. It wasn't a 5 times. It was. What would that percentage be? Going from 175 to 200.
Like,
I don't know, like
like 0.5 or something.
no, like that would be 15% higher or something like that. So not that big of a deal, but no, that they basically had to knee jerk the vitamin D up because my systems, my parathyroid is not absorbing it properly, because the thyroid gland that is now removed was on something called a parathyroid gland. It's the thing that's like connected physically to your esophagus, and that's not working correctly after my surgery. So yeah, but that's basically why I haven't streamed. Well, I streamed last week, but before that I hadn't streamed in a month because I was just so tired and I couldn't figure out why. And yeah, now I figured out why, and it's like, okay, well, at least I'm better now. So, my story, and I'm sticking to it. I was really on a 1 month long coke bender. I was drinking nothing but Coca-Cola for a whole month. Make fun of my coworkers, cause that's literally all he drinks.
Yeah, like what you like, I guess.
Yeah, but every time we see him with it, we're like, oh, you're on another coke bender, are you? And he just looks at us like, shut the fuck up. I'm not a fan of Coke, so yeah.
I prefer Pepsi product.
I prefer non-carbonated beverages. Like high quality H2O. Goes with everything. Especially ice. You can't say ice waters down water. Why is there a random NPC horde person over here? What did I do to you? Jerk horde NPCs? Freaking. Why no one likes the horde?
Yeah. I like certain races on both things. I'm not really a
What's your Halloween costume, Sarah?
faction oriented person. I would play both if I had to. It's just
I was gonna play Horde until you didn't want to play.
The Legion's end draws near.
I told you, man. I spend literally
Let the
over
light
like
embrace
80% of my paycheck
Remember
on
the lesson.
Coco
of the
and
light.
Yeah, I know. I'm not like mad, but I'm just saying like I'm not that like Alliance fanboy. I just play Alliance when other people aren't playing.
hell, I had
games
to.
with me.
Speaking of that, I had to spend half my paycheck today on Coco.
Kitties. Kitties. I spent $60
All over to death.
on my
but,
cats.
for all of them?
Do not lose faith.
Yeah,
Okay, well let me put it in
technically one. Technically one, but it kind of helps all of them. It's technically
I spend about that
Nathan-
much.
panics when when other people aren't around. He's a very weird cat that if he doesn't see or hear someone, he will go around the house going. So we have calming stuff that helps him calm down because that's not very
Because you
good.
use separation anxiety.
Yeah. So.
I spend about that much on one cat per week.
But it's his medicine thing, so it's kind of one cat and it's 1 month for the thing of that. It fell away.
1 week for me. Like maybe a week and a half.
Ready yet. I can't do that
But
yet.
like I said, it affects them all because it's like this little like air freshener dispenser thing that puts it in the air, so it's definitely affects everyone. Mangled snout.
It's
But yeah, Sarah, what's your Halloween costume? Is it? I'm trying to think what it would something you would actually do. What would be a fun Halloween costume right now? I have not dressed up for Halloween in like forever.
Spooter Man.
Tutor man?
Spooter Man.
Tutor man, you're like a tutor. It's a spirit
Spooter.
Halloween, but
Spooter Man. The mean,
Mhm.
like the mean version of Spider-Man.
Warm wishes
that's cool,
to
Sarah.
Ionis Aka.
I'd ask you more about it, but I obviously don't want to like pry if it's a surprise. She went and got like a full hockey suit, and, like is playing like hockey superhero.
Oh
The
man.
least
I don't-
likely.
Uh,
No, keep the surprise. Keep the surprise. Keep the surprise. Don't ruin it. I can wait
my humor. is
31 days.
So bad sometimes.
A lot of you is so bad sometimes.
Fair enough.
A lot of me is so bad sometimes, so I can't even really say it. Oh yeah, I have a talent point. Imagine that. I use my talent point to get like a really good cool DPS cooldown. Like dancing rune weapon is pretty darn good, isn't it? Like I'm sure anyone who like has ever played a Death Knight knows what that is.
I didn't get to see the end of the game. I don't even know if we won or not.
You've never really played a Deadlight?
Huh?
Do you not know what Dancing Rune Weapon is?
I was talking about. I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about.
You know what Dancing Rune
was-
Weapon is, though.
Yes, I know what that is.
I will
mained
judge
a
you
Death
if you
Knight.
don't.
I mained a Death Knight for several expansions, sir. I didn't play Blood, but I know what its kit is.
Well, Dancing Rune Weapon now isn't specific to a spec. I think it's just part of the shitty talent trees and
No, I think
Shadowlands.
it's still, or it might be a talent, but I think it's still baseline for Blood. It's just, I don't play Blood.
Oh, you're going out with you. Okay, that's cool that you're going out with your son. Like, are you doing Amherstburg with him, or are you taking him to like places around where you live? Amherstburg would be better for that. Amherstburg would be way better for that. Where's the inn at this gosh darn place? Did Draenei not have inns? Oh. Caregiver Oprah Winfrey. Creative
Hope
Blizzard.
you find something useful.
Not
Favor
Creative
the
Blizzard.
road traveled by few.
Yeah, that's fair. And it would be better there anyways because it's a smaller town and there's not even that much traffic. Where you live would be very traffic oriented. Well, you gotta. If you're coming up with a character, you can't just, like, keep them unnamed. Right? You gotta name your Sonic OC.
I was kind of zoning out, and then I heard Sonic OC.
I'm trying to remember what the name of, the Game Grumps Sonic OC was. Something Esquire the Third. Yeah, I don't watch Game Grumps that much anymore. Tails is awesome. Tails is the best Sonic character. Do I want to go over here? 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 I'm kind of bored of that quest. I've done that quest too much on Ascension, so I'm like, I don't really want to go over here and do that. Technically, I think I could go to Zangamarsh.
You know, if you ever set up I wonder if you could set up like a treadmill in front of your computer desk. Just be walking on a treadmill all day while you're playing. Wonder how jacked you could get just doing something like that. Right?
I don't know if Jack would be the right word. Because it's just I guess, but... Kitty Girl is
What
here.
was that?
Yeah, Kitty Girl's here. What are you doing here, little one? I have a kitty girl. You guys are jealous because you don't have a kitty girl. Yeah. Not one that sounds like a bird. I have a cat on my shoulder. Kid, you're silly. You're a silly little girl. You're a silly little girl. Oh yes, it's kitty time. It's always kitty time with this one. You're goofy. Excuse me, you don't have to butt the mic or my face. Just little one. You're silly. You kind of smell though, Sid. I don't mean to be mean, but you kind of smell right now. Did you like poop recently and you haven't bathed yourself or something? Like you smell a bit like a litter box. You're silly. You're a silly girl. Hey, don't change. You may smell poopy, but you're still your baby. Even though you're not actually the baby. Let's get rid of some of these quests, because I don't really like that zone we were just in. We're not going to go back. We're going to... This zone's a more fun zone. You're goofy, Sydney. We're new. We haven't gotten a nude on stream recently. You're silly. Why are you licking me right now? And keep that one quest just because that's for a dungeon. How much does this... Oh, 20k? Wow, that's a lot. Why? Why, Sarah? Shouldn't it kind of... Yeah, I'm trying to...
I don't like new people.
I don't like new people either, but that's just because I don't like training people. Training people's annoying.
Greetings.
And I don't like having to, like,
Basha Salam.
you get used to certain people and then they leave. And then you have to get used to new people. I don't know, it's just...
Illuminate your
Preach to the choir. Oh yeah, Sarah. I know what that's like. Like, the place I'm at, we've been... It's that time of year where we're struggling for people so hardcore.
Yeah, it's the same here. Nobody ever wants to do anything at the end of the year.
Oh, you're such a silly... You're such a silly girl, Sid. You're such a silly girl. You're making me hurt. But it's okay, because you're cute.
We survived.
Travel to Umberford Village and slay... Oh, that guy. Okay. Okay, thank you for leaving, Sydney.
For you.
You're a good girl. Where I work? Yeah, this time of year is like always when they're like so hard off for people. It's like they're on 3 shifts right now, and every day I'm off, they call me in to do stuff at like places in the plant that I don't want anything to do with. Just put it that way. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever been at like that type of thing where you've gotten to the point with a job where when they ask you to do something and you have the option to say no, you're like, I don't want to do that again. I used to do that all the time. No, I don't want to ever do that again. It's kind of where I'm at. I should have stuff to train. That's why I'm coming back to...
I've never really been able to say no.
Oh, I totally have the ability to say no. That's the great part about being an operator.
We don't have any freedom here in the land of... Don't you know that?
Whose strength is it? Ooh. Oh, Blood Strike rank 2. So rank 1 was... Oh, it auto updates. Why am I even putting this on my bar then? Like, what am I even thinking? I'm like on some sort of crack cocaine. I need Death and Decay though. I need to be that DK who DPS's in Frost Presence and puts Death and Decay around all the time. And uses unglyphed Army of the Dead. I don't know if you remember any of this, Brian.
You're an awful Death Knight.
But that's how you Death Knight. Like, if you don't go into Hellfire Ramparts, you're queuing for DPS, but in Frost Presence, and dropping Death and Decay everywhere to pull from the tank. Are you really a Death Knight? I wouldn't actually do that. When do you get Death and Decay? Or Army of the Dead? Army of the Dead. Army of the Dead is... Army of the Dead. Level 80? You're telling me I can't go into Hellfire Ramparts and pull everything with Army of the Dead and just have an enemy spin in circles because every single ghoul is taunting them one after another? I don't know if I can play this game anymore. Oh, so I can... I can't hearth? Why can't I hearth?
Because you threatened to pull aggro.
Oh, well that's dumb. You don't have a Scourge down anymore once you finish the Death Knight starting experience. So I still had the... You're a bad guy. Everyone needs raise. I'm pretty sure, but yeah. Especially low people on the totem pole, but yeah. I wouldn't say no to more money. I like money.
Yeah, I just want like a $9 raise, that's all.
Yeah, like, wouldn't it be nice if we all got $9 raises? They could just be nice and making it even 10. Right? It wouldn't hurt them too much.
I've got to get somewhere in life if I ever make 20 an hour. That's baller money for me.
Baller.
That's like NBA superstar money for me.
I can't cast that yet. That's still retarded. That spell isn't ready yet.
NBA superstar. Yeah, I'm imagining LeBron James earning his fat stacks of $20 an hour. I'm sure LeBron James would look at that and be like, peasant money.
Yeah, for him, yeah.
I wonder
For
what
me, no.
I wonder what equivalents he makes in an hour.
Disgusting.
That ability is
Large amount.
not ready yet.
Probably like 1,000 an hour or some shit.
I can't cancel that. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet.
Probably more. I don't know what his contract is. Gotta think it's probably thousands an hour.
How much does LeBron make an hour?
I make 10 an hour right now.
LeBron James makes $188 per second.
That's sad to think about, in a way.
He makes $11,299 per minute. That's played, by the way. That's not like 40 hours a week type thing. That's, you know, but that's still fucking goofy.
And I don't even think the NBA is like the highest paid. Like they're like on the lower end, I believe, of highest paid athletes. So what's that say about the other sports?
Well, hockey's the lower.
But NBA ain't that much worse, I don't think.
Well, the problem with them is their like arena sizes are smaller than baseball or football. That's why it's so low, right? Because they generally play in the same size arenas, and it's like what, max 20K, where baseball and football is like baseball. So many of them are 45K, and football's like 100K. Some of them.
More than that. Some stadiums are like 300. They fit almost 300,000 people in them. I want to say.
Let's see.
But
Not ready yet. That ability is ready yet. Not ready yet.
yeah, I complain about how much money I make because you can always make more money.
I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. I can't cast that yet. That spell isn't ready yet.
Like, don't get me wrong, I feel bad, like, if I were to complain about it around, like, people who don't make that much money. That's why I generally keep quiet about it, but, you know.
Like me.
Yeah, like...
Even with the Canadian, like, difference between our money, you still make damn near double what I make.
Do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability is
Well, if you're reading chat, I make more than what her boyfriend makes. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know how the exchange rate would affect things, but yeah.
I can't do that yet. That ability
It's
Well,
close.
not ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Let's
I would think it would just be like, whatever the, like,
I don't know what the exchange rate is right now, is what I'm basically saying.
I think it's, I know when I was giving you the sub and stuff, it was like a couple dollars worth of difference, I want to say.
But yeah,
That spell isn't ready.
it's
Can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
stupid. I hate exchange rates.
Yet.
I hate having to pay $20 a month for my WoW sub.
For your
Let's
what?
stay recharged.
WoW sub.
Not ready yet. That ability
World of
isn't ready.
Warcraft.
I can't do that yet. That ability isn't
Oh, your WoW sub. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I can't cast that yet. I can't do that yet. Not ready
20?
yet.
Why
Yeah.
is it 20? I thought it used to be 15.
Let's still recharge.
Canadian
That
bucks.
spell isn't ready yet.
Oh, that's
I can't do that yet.
right. I keep forgetting that.
I can't do that yet. I can't
We were
cast
just
that
talking
yet.
about it and I forgot it that quick.
That ability
Tim Hortons money.
That part is, I remember, now that I think about it, we had talked about that before because I think I questioned why you were paying $20 for it as well.
Yeah.
That ability isn't ready yet.
The 2 months of WoW sub time comes to $38 and change.
I can't cast that yet.
Yeah, that's
I should know because I literally just paid it today.
why I bought the 6 months.
That spell isn't ready yet.
6 months package.
Not ready yet. That ability
That's
isn't ready yet.
the shitty.
Do that yet.
Sarah,
That
like,
ability isn't
rent shouldn't go up. It's not like they're doing anything more. Right? Like, it's not, oh, you gotta pay an extra $50 a month because we're gonna come and, like, shovel your snow or something.
That's why I would, if I ever come to the point where I have to, I lose this house or whatever, I would not want to be a renter because
Same.
they have, that's, the sad part is they have every right to do what they do because
Not ready yet. That spell isn't
they're
ready
the
yet.
fucking landlords.
Yeah, that's why I haven't moved out. Because I totally could. It's just, I'm not into that. I'm not into that. Not into, oh, you know, feel like randomly raising your rent. Because why not? Like, don't get me wrong, they gotta give like 90 days notice or
I need
something
more,
like that.
I need more money to gamble going to raise your rent.
Yeah. I lost my gambling money this month, so you gotta pay for
That
it.
ability isn't ready yet. I don't have a target. I can't cast that yet. I can't do that yet.
It's rained too much this week, and I'm angry, so we gotta pay $40 more a month. Where's more witch doctors? I need witch doctors. I need witch doctors. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I need a witch doctor. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet. Not ready
No,
yet.
I asked for a raise twice before I quit beef
That
up
ability
radio.
isn't ready yet. Not ready yet.
I have never actually asked for a raise for my work.
I can't cast that yet.
Oh, I did, because I was getting tired of the shit. I was on the way out of the door. I had basically already decided if they didn't want to give me a raise, I was going to quit.
That spell isn't ready yet. That spell isn't ready.
But you remember the shit
I can't cast that yet.
that I
I should have gone with Tremor Totem.
That spell isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I need a target.
Yeah. I remember when I first started at Bondwell before I got full time and going from 2011 to 2015 without getting a raise. So I know what
I
that's
worked for them for 4 years and was making $9.25.
That spell isn't ready yet.
I was
can't cast that
making
yet.
$10.25
I don't have a
4 years, and then I got full time and they raised it.
4 years, $9.25, and then I quit. And when I started at Circle K, I was making more than I made after 4 years of working.
do that yet.
For that.
That
That's
ability
what it
isn't
said.
ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
Feels like I wasted my damn time on the
Can't
place
do
of
that
time.
yet. Not ready yet.
That's never a waste.
Ready yet.
Learning new things is never a waste.
Yet.
Even if the only thing you learned is that Beef O'Brady sucks to work at.
I mean, there's some positives that was taken from it, I guess. It's just, it feels both nice and shitty
Yeah.
to start at a job making more than you did after years of
Yeah.
had passed.
Yep, I remember what that was like. That was going from, what was it, Timmy's to, Sutherland? And going from, I think it was like 9 something at the time to 12 something and being like, oh my god, this is such a game changer. We're talking like 2008, 2009, so yeah.
Yeah, it's. I was like, there's more than I was making after 4 years where I was working at, so hell yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna complain, but at the same time, it's just, wow. That's a very shitty
You
thing.
don't want to work there, sir. You don't want to work there. That is. There is no amount of money that is worth that. People complain about Bondwell or other jobs, and I don't understand, other than the fact that they have never worked at Sutherland. Because if they had ever worked at Sutherland, they would not complain about their job, like, being crappy. Because, like, the amount of abuse you have to put up with at that place is just... No one should ever have to put up with that amount of abuse.
And that reminds me of a job.
Like, people just calling in and threatening to, like, find where you live and murder you because you're not getting a, like, technician out there, like, in the next 15 minutes to fix their fucking cable is just, like, both the most absurd thing ever and the most, like, yeah.
I can't do that yet. That's still in charge. That spell isn't ready yet. That
I
ability
get it,
isn't
but at
ready
the same time, if somebody called me and said that
yet.
shit,
That ability isn't ready yet.
probably would just laugh.
Do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
This is the
Not ready yet.
best thing in my dancing show. If you don't get somebody over here, I'm gonna break your kneecaps.
Like, it's just the amount of crazy people are, like, yeah.
What brings you here?
People are great.
Walk with the earth.
Let's just say that.
That's
Yeah,
why I
that's-
don't work at, like, yeah, that's why I was never really interested in working at like any of the phone service places in my town, because they're so, one, they're very, very susceptible to being robbed very easily. Like, you leave your fucking doors open all day, your phones are just there in the open.
Yeah.
You have no security. It's at yourself.
That spell isn't ready yet.
Yeah, you are the
Yet.
security.
I can't cast that. Not ready yet. That's
I will securely move out of the way and let them take whatever.
Well, yeah, like, if I'm working at a place like that and someone comes to rob it, I'm not gonna, like, stop them. I'm gonna be like, okay, have fun. I'm gonna call the
Superman.
cops.
Superman dive on them and
Like,
choke holding.
how stupid would you have to be like, yeah, I'm gonna stop you, Mr. Guy with a gun? Like,
I actually would be more scared of somebody.
like,
holding a
fuck that. I'm
knife.
not gonna take a bullet for, like, AT&T or some stupid place like that.
I find knives to be scarier because you can run. You have the chance to miss a bullet, but if somebody stabs you, you just stabbed.
The scariest utensil is a spork, because anyone who has a spork is unstable. Have you ever met a guy with a spork and been like, that guy's normal?
Only time I've ever used a spork was when they used to hand them out in school at lunch.
I've never actually seen a spork.
Yeah, I've used them, but they're
Like, I've seen pictures of them, but I haven't, like, seen one in real
kind of
life.
useful. Like, they're not. There's a reason, I guess, they don't make them like
Because they
metal
make
or
you go
whatever.
crazy.
They do not.
I have...
go crazy.
Every person who uses sporks are crazy. Like, it's the power of having a fork and a spoon at the same time that just
That's
people
actually
cannot
not
deal
as
with.
rare. It's actually not as rare as you would think.
As the
Sarah.
foon?
I've known people.
The
No,
foon's
talking
even
about her
crazier.
Comment about being overqualified. I've actually known people that's not been hired for jobs because apparently they have too much experience, which is stupid. But see, a lot of them jobs like that want to get teenagers they can take advantage of.
Yeah. 100%. Like, overqualified just means we have to pay you a proper wage when we can hire a kid and pay him
A lot less.
to
And
do
he'll
what you
know
do.
no better until he probably will know no better until it's too late to know better. Pretty
Not
much.
ready yet. You can't do that yet.
He'll still do something for us before he classes up to me.
Yeah.
That ability isn't ready. I can't do that yet. Let's go in charge. That ability isn't ready. Not ready yet. That spell isn't ready. I can't cast that yet. Let's go in charge. You can't do that yet. That spell isn't ready. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. It's too far away.
Restaurants in general nowadays.
Can't do that yet. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that
Overall.
yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. I don't have a type.
I would honestly say, other than maybe like big retail stores, restaurants are like the hardest to get anywhere in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're unless you know somebody who's got power in that place, you're pretty much fucked.
Because they always feel that they can get someone off the street to do what you do for
Exactly.
cheaper. Like, it's stupid. It's stupid.
That's the one
They
thing
don't
I
care
don't
how
miss
hard you
about-
work, it's how cheap you can do it.
Why I don't miss working at Beefs other than the other 600,000
Akal Hekta.
reasons I would have. I
Roar.
was never gonna get anywhere working there. I was always going to just
Go in peace.
be at the exact same level I am, or was.
Yes, you did. I totally remember that, Sarah. Like, you 100% ran that place.
Winds guide you. Ancestors watch over you.
I totally remember that. I miss that. I have not been into the canteen to buy any food since you left.
Hello. Farewell.
I wouldn't say it's at a protest or anything. I just haven't been there because there's no reason for me to go there. That and I work nights.
Peace be with you. The Shah Thelal. What brings you here?
But I used to go there well, I also worked at a job. At that point, I was in the scale house. So yeah, like, day shift, I would go there for lunch all the time. I had the time to do that.
Factory jobs are another one. Like retail, restaurant, factory feels like
Why you gonna hate on the factory job?
they're just shitty for moving up. It feels like any place
What
that
are you
has
talking about? I've moved up quite fine.
help, for how many other people probably haven't. All right.
Do I want to say this? Do I want to go there? Because I have a friend, other Brian, who's been there as long as me, who not full time. But that's his own fault. So it's one of those things where working anywhere, it's kind of a game. You have to play the personalities of people in order to move up. You have to be friends with the right people in order to move up.
I always called it being a chameleon. Basically, you change your colors around who you're surrounded.
Yeah. And he does not understand that. So he clashes with the people he should be being suck up to. And I don't even really mean suck up. Just like, work.
Just act like basically mimic. You're mimicking the.
Yeah. You're gonna play a game.
Yeah. I always called it being a chameleon.
And like the amount of times he's tried to get like line operator and stuff like that and been refused is just because he's not buddy with the right people. He's not friends with the right people, and it's any job to a certain extent. You have to be friends with the people who are going to hire you for the raise in order to move up. You have to get, maybe not even friends. You have to be on a certain rapport with them where they trust you and like you.
That's kind of how it is right now at Circle K with me. Like, I'm friends with all the manager and assistant managers and shit.
Yeah, so I'm sure
And
to a
if
certain
I've
extent,
really
if you
ever-
went for a raise, they would be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna give you the raise. But if you were
Well,
like,
actually, I
yeah.
actually don't think I'm even gonna have to go for that raise because I've been getting outstanding
Let's go
reviews
recharge.
as it is on my like 30-day reports, and you're
30-day
considered for
reports?
raises or evaluations, whatever you want to call it. They do evaluations every 30 days.
Not ready yet.
wow, really?
Can't do that yet.
Yeah, and every 90 days, I believe it was, you get considered for a raise.
Huh.
Supposedly.
I'm out of range. Not ready yet. That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do
I haven't
that
been there
yet.
long enough to
That
prove that
ability isn't
whether
ready
that's
yet.
true or not.
That's interesting. My place, it's twice a year. You get considered.
I think
Your
it's just-
1 year
I don't
anniversary
think
of getting
it's
hired
a-
at whatever job it is, and then in July.
Well, usually other jobs it would be the same way because at Beef O'Brady's it was always you will be considered at the start of like or at the end or start of every year for a raise, which I never was. Which was another reason I eventually went and asked for them because I'd been there 4 years before I even got any because I'd never asked for them, so they assumed that I guess they assumed they could just not give me a raise.
I need to get closer. It's too far away. That ability
I
isn't
don't
ready yet.
like it's.
Can't do that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
It makes me sound like I'm being a greedy asshole, but at the same
Oh,
time,
you're not. Because, like, if you don't get that money, Mr. CEO is just going to put it on a pile and
That ability isn't ready.
Scrooge McDuck into it. Like,
Do that yet.
he doesn't need more money, you do. Like, you know, the people low on the totem pole are the people that are going to be affected most by $1 an hour, where, you know,
Do that
you
yet.
think Jeff Bezos needs another $1 an hour?
Let's still recharge.
okay, you remember I told you my uncle was the kitchen manager. Quentin, my friend, was with them for like 15 years.
That ability isn't ready
I
yet.
had been with them for all three of us quit basically within like I quit, then my uncle quit, and then like a week later, Quentin had quit. And because they weren't giving him a raise, Quentin a raise either, and he'd been there 15 fucking years.
That ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That ability
Oh.
isn't ready yet.
And they waited until all three of us quit. They panicked and started giving raises nonstop to the people who were left because they didn't want to lose them too.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So that's the sad part about that.
That's how it works. That's kind of what happened with my work. The minimum wage went up, and they didn't raise the wages of everyone else that weren't minimum wage. So suddenly, people that had been making like $8 more than minimum wage were now making
That ability isn't ready.
$4 more than minimum wage, depending on how much it went up. And obviously, then they're starting to quit and go to like places that are gonna
Not ready yet.
give them more money. So then they knee-jerked, and
That spell isn't
after a
ready.
bunch of people left, a bunch of operators, and raised it. And like, don't get me wrong, you know, nice that they did it, but shouldn't have taken that.
Nice that they did it, but they don't give a shit.
Yeah, they only give a shit because, you know, they don't want to fill a position. It's, you know, not
They
that.
don't want to have to fill like 7 positions because in a way it's still being greedy asshole.
Yeah,
In the long run, that's all it is.
yeah, and it only hurts them because, you know, compared to like other factory jobs, we don't make that much money. Like, as much as, you know, I may make money compared to, you know, you or Sarah, compared to factory workers like Chrysler and stuff like that. I don't make that much money. Like, and so, like, how do I want to put it? Like, there's a new plant going out, and they're gonna have to raise wages because they're just not going. Oh, there's Lord Clock. I knew he was in here. They're gonna lose people once the battery plant exists because they're just not gonna pay, and so they need to like keep raising because of that. Because yeah, they won't be able to run the plant without line
I
operators.
could understand some of them leaving anyway because
Well, when you can immediately go and make almost $30 an hour to do the same job, you'd be crazy not to.
and it probably not be
And it's a unionized place, and you know, like, you'd be crazy not to, especially if you have experience, right? Like, if you, like me, and been doing it for 5 years, you'd be crazy to be really like, oh, I'm gonna stay and make way less money.
thinking about leaving.
Because it's, again, like,
I figure
$30 an hour to do the same thing. It's just not in a freezer, and so I don't need to have as much clothes, etc., etc. Like,
don't blame you.
yeah, like,
Especially if you
unionized
can
plant, so you don't
guarantee-
gotta worry about getting fired because people don't like you. Like,
That's the thing that happens there.
It's too far away.
well, non-unionized plants don't really need to have a reason to get rid of the worker, right? Union, they gotta go through the union to get rid of you.
See, I'm here with my experience. Everybody's experience.
I can't do that yet.
To me, sometimes that is amazing to have, and sometimes it's shitty because sometimes having too many hoops to go through before you can like get rid of an absolute shitty employee be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
There's two sides to each coin, and there are people who deserve to be fired that aren't going to be fired because of the union, but there's also a lot of people who
that do deserve the job and have done nothing, and that's why I'm saying it's like it's 50-50, but man, I personally seem to get and deal with all the shitty sides of that. Even at Circle K right now, we got 2 people that just would go in a record book for some of the worst employees. But you can't fire them because corporate says you need to have multiple reasons before you can fire an employee.
we haven't had like a conference or anything about it at work, but I know as it gets closer to being like built, they're gonna start raising the wages preemptively. Because again,
Yeah,
like,
but if you're still
if
not
you can
ma-
go
if you're
make
st-
$5 more an hour somewhere else, well, why wouldn't you immediately go there and be like, okay, sure.
That's I was gonna say is like that would still depend, like if they even if they raised you to 30 to match 30, right? It still would probably be
I'm out of range. It's too far away.
probably I'd say probably because I have
I
no
can't do
clue.
that.
But if it was easier work,
Not ready yet.
well, I would still be considering the other one. Like if you could go work somewhere with a less demanding job for the same pay, why not?
See, I would personally, I'm weird. If the money's equal, I would stay where I'm at. Because I like my job. It's just for $5 an hour. Like, if it's $1, okay, I don't want to start over for that little difference. But if you're talking like $200 a week, that's a lot of money over a year. Like, Okay, Sarah. Sarah, thanks for coming by. I'll talk to you later. I should be streaming tomorrow, so
I need to get closer.
I will talk to you later. But yeah,
Do that. Not ready yet.
you know, there's an amount of money that makes that that makes that like.
I mean, right now it's like my job I'm at now. Like I was saying earlier, if I feel like I am friends with Brittany, who's the manager. I'm friendly with both of the assistant managers. I feel like if I ever really wanted to move up, which me moving up would mean going at a cooler and just being on the register all the way. But if I ever wanted to do that, I probably could. See, what I'm waiting on is I keep hearing, because people will come to me and talk to me, certain people, because they know I don't go around and gossip and run my fucking mouth to people, right? When people realize you keep secrets pretty damn well, they'll start talking.
Yep.
And I mean, there's a part of you that's like, well, you know, Brittany's a friend, a good friend of me and my uncle. Should I tell her that? Maybe not right now, but there's been a lot of talk about a mass exodus of employees. Like everybody at one point was thinking, you know, we're about to leave. I'm about to go work for FDL. She's about to go work somewhere else. Everybody else is going to quit. And that would have left like me, Jackie, which is Brittany's friend, and Brittany. Basically, one manager, one assistant manager, and me. Like, if something like that would happen, if like something like that does happen,
May the eternal
and
sun
then, you know, they leave because everybody else has left, and they're just like, fuck it. If it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down. I'm going to, right? I would probably be gone too. And the only reason I say that is because I said this to them too. I was like, you know, everybody in here left. I like the people that are here now. If every single one of you leave and I get in here and there's a whole new management, whole new entirely new people, and they're all a bunch of dickheads. I don't want to deal with that shit.
Yeah, new culture, new everything.
I like it how it is now.
It'll never change. I'm not allowed to change. If it changes, I'll be mad.
No, I just wouldn't stay at the time. I'd be gone. I've told people that. I was like, I mean, somebody quitting here and there is one thing, but when you have like your whole fucking store quits, that's different.
Well, yeah, it's literally the whole store.
Yeah, because I've heard nothing but bad, like mostly bad things about the past managers. So I don't think a new manager would be all that great either. So. And definitely probably would not understand my situation with transportation and shit as well as Brittany does. Because she gives me rides to and from work some days.
Nice.
What other manager you know that would do that shit for somebody?
I've had supervisors at my work drive me home.
But like for a small business, like any business really, like hell, she's probably one of the most laid back in terms of letting people get away with shit. But also, I mean, in terms of like what other because Circle K doesn't do like drug tests or anything. So technically,
The Naru have
people
not
come to work.
forgotten us.
Not technically, people come to work
Safe
high as
journey.
shit.
Technically.
Good
Hey,
fortune.
there's a lot of people up there that come to work
Favor
smelling
the
like
road, traveler.
nothing but weed,
How are ya?
which is their business, whatever.
See you soon.
You know, but what other boss
The
could you
Legion
tell,
will fall.
even if it's on your day off? What other
Do
boss
not
could
lose
you
faith.
tell that you're like fucking high out of your mind, and that they really just be like,
Each day
okay,
is
you
a blessing.
shouldn't be telling me this
Be
shit
well.
just
The Naru
because
have not forgotten us.
you consider me a
Safe
friend. I'm still your fucking boss, but not fire your ass on the spot. Because most bosses would fire your ass if you told them you were high as shit.
My place is kind of like that. There are people who, yeah, let's just say, are along the lines of that. I'm not one of them, but one of the very, very, like, they'll call you in to, like, pick up a
Wish to
shift.
buy? Trade?
And people will literally, it's kind of a joke, say, no, I can't, I'm high out of my mind right now.
That's basically the scenario that happened. Called him because it was his birthday, and he was, in his words, turned up. He was drunk, high, and probably going to get more drunk and high after he left. So he had to bring his girlfriend came into work instead. And the sad part of that is that he's now one of the assistant managers, which me and him are cool. I get along with him really well. He's one of the assistant managers I said I get along really well with.
No, but it's, yeah, either that or, like, a lot of the forklift drivers will be like, no, I've had a few drinks, I can't come in. Like, to a shift that they're supposed to be working, they'll be like, yeah, I had a couple beers, I'm taking the day off.
Oh, so that's different though. Like if you're supposed to come into work and you're like, oh, I'm high,
Not ready yet.
but if you're not supposed to be working, but they call you and you're like, no, I can't come in to cover a shift on my day off. I'm high as fuck right now. That's the type of situation I'm talking about.
No, the people I know will still come in at the...
When she still came in, it was just he wasn't working because
That ability isn't
There are a
he
lot of...
wasn't in a very good way.
There are a lot of forklift drivers that will be doing that on the job while they're there. So,
Sure,
That ability isn't ready
you
yet.
can get away with it, why not, I
That
guess.
ability isn't ready yet.
I don't agree with it because you're driving a forklift, but, you know. I don't make the decisions.
Oh, come on, man, you're forklift certified.
No, no. I am 1,000% not forklift certified. I haven't been forklift certified since I worked at Rona.
You can get the elite. I know I'm talking out of my ass here because I have no fucking clue, but you can get forklift certified in like 2 hours, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not ready yet.
Yeah.
That ability isn't ready yet.
At least that's what I've heard.
Let's
Yeah.
recharge.
Yeah, I can literally do that at my work if I wanted to, but I don't want to. So I don't want more reasons for them to call me in.
Oh, come on, man. You don't want to drive around on a forklift and play
Fuck that shit.
joust with forklifts.
Nope. I don't want to stay at home and play video games. No amount of genital jousting with a forklift
Not ready yet. I can't do that.
replace my WoW
That spell
time.
isn't ready yet. I can't cast that yet.
That sounds like a fun day, though.
No. No work is a fun day.
Another reason I haven't really just been like, hey, I want to learn to register and move out of the cooler is because, like, that shit is just stressful. I have little to, like, for the first time in years, I can say that 95% of my stress comes from everything but work. Right? And that for me, that's saying a lot. Whereas when I was working for Craig and them, you may as well say it was like 95% more stress just from work. Not from the work itself, just the bullshit that went on.
Yeah.
I'm out
The
of
work
range.
itself
Let's
was,
go recharge.
you learned it was pretty easy. I could go back right now and learn,
Can't
like,
do that yet.
remember
Not
how to
ready
cook
yet.
every damn
That
thing in
ability
there
isn't ready
in
yet.
about 10
I
minutes.
can't cast that yet.
And that's like a 30 to 40 item menu, pretty much.
Well, if you've done it enough, I'm pretty sure you could do it at home in your sleep. Right?
Probably.
You could open up your own beef O'Brady's in your
It's
backyard.
too far away.
I'd already tried that and that failed. That lady owes me money
I
still.
can't do that yet. That ability
Yeah.
isn't ready yet. Not ready yet.
I don't
Lady
think
does.
you're ever gonna get it, but you know.
Not
No,
ready yet.
I'm giving up
Can't
on
do
that.
that yet. Let's
The
go.
only way I'll ever see that money is if I go over there and threaten to take her to court. No, I'm not going to do all that
That
shit
spell
for
isn't ready
$400.
yet. Not ready yet.
I don't know, there's a lot of people who would do stuff for $400.
Oh yeah, but you have to think about the court costs and lawyer costs.
I'm pretty sure they would pay. You'd have her pay for it if you won.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Can't cast that yet.
she's
Do
got
that yet. That ability isn't ready yet.
a lot more
Do
money
that
to
yet.
put
That
on damn
ability isn't
defense
ready yet.
than I do.
Yeah, but it's not one of those things that can really be like debated. She didn't pay
Plus,
you
I
money.
think that what would get me is that I never signed paperwork saying I actually worked for her.
That spell isn't
That's what would get
not
me.
ready yet. That ability isn't
That's
ready yet.
one of the reasons.
Not ready yet. I can't do that yet.
I was working for her, but I wasn't officially.
Well, now you know that you have to be an official employee of someone.
Cast that yet. That ability isn't ready yet. Not ready yet. I can't do that yet.
Because
Not
technically
ready
the
yet.
whole idea was I
That
was
ability
going
isn't
to,
ready yet.
because she was going to hand off that store to Quentin. Quentin was going to take control of that store, and I was going to end up being under him. But that
Yeah.
whole situation never worked out that way.
When she doesn't pay people, it kind of makes them not want to work for her.
See, the problem was I should have waited. In a way, it was my fault. In a way, because I should have waited to say I quit, basically, and not just showed up again until after she gave me that fucking last check. I should have did it that
True.
way, but like hindsight's 2020 after the fucking fact.
No, I'm pretty sure that was 2021.
Let's stay in charge. I can't do that
I don't
yet.
think that was even
Not ready
2021.
yet.
It
That
was last
ability
year.
isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet. That spell isn't
I
ready
like
yet.
it had
can't
a-
I
was
didn't
it
know
active?
you the summer of 2020. Yeah, it was 2021. You're that old that it's almost going to be 2023. How does that feel? Aren't you excited? Soon it'll be 3 years of COVID. COVID will have its 3rd year birthday. It's almost old enough to go to school. It's going to be in junior kindergarten soon.
Other school systems are weird to me. The grading systems.
Grading. What's weird about A to F?
Or, you know what I mean, like the grades. You know, like England is really weird
Why?
compared to ours.
I hear in England the king or queen is the person that has the highest grades.
Not the Queen.
What are you talking about? She had
Not
like a
anymore.
94% average at waving.
And 94% average in 1907.
Yeah.
She probably wouldn't have even been eligible if she had done today's.
Oh, she would be so smart. What are you talking about? She would be dead smart today.
Warm wishes to you. Die on this, huh?
Too soon?
Great to meet you.
Oh, I was gonna make a horrible joke earlier about her. I forget what it was. Either you or Sarah had made us something, and I
Safe
really
travel.
wanted to fucking say it.
Good fortune.
You can't be mean to the queen.
Remember the lessons of the past.
Who will wave
But
from a funny
I
cop?
knew for a fact it would upset Sarah.
May the light
didn't say it.
embrace you.
Eel fillets?
May your days be long and your heart
Eel fillets? Why do I want to get an eel fillet? Strength. I should sell stuff. Are you a sell stuff? No, you're a stable master. He's really, really, really good at
Browse at
making
your
things
leisure.
stable. This guy doesn't sell stuff.
May your days be long and your hardships few.
May your days be long.
You ain't talking about too soon. What was it? The day of or the day after? I made a joke about that. What is I was talking about? Like, I guess she wasn't a android or immortal. Like I
You
thought.
could be related to the
May I
queen
be
and be
of
so
service?
offended by what I say. You could be 1/5 queen.
Fifth queen. Yeah. I would want nothing to do with that family.
Oh, come on. You could be rich.
The only one of that family I would probably have ever really even liked was the one that really I think they killed or assassinated themselves. The
Queen Elizabeth?
no, Princess Diana.
They killed, they could kill Queen Elizabeth. She knew too much.
Yeah, they took her battery.
Yeah. Yeah. They turned off her solar panel.
Imagine they find her diary in her room.
Shutting down.
Imagine they find a diary in her room that's like, today I sent a hit squad to kill my daughter, Princess Diana, or with her granddaughter, Princess Diana.
I don't know what she was. She
I don't know
was.
what she was either.
I
I
don't
don't
think-
think it was daughter.
No, it was. She was married to the king now.
It would have been like daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Which is why she didn't like her. No, because she didn't act like, she really didn't. She didn't act like the rest of them. You don't act like you're a pompous asshole. You're not a.
Damn straight. They're gonna either make you a pompous asshole or they're gonna cut you out of pompous assholedom.
It'll make you run into a pillar in a tunnel.
That sounds like a weird running fetish. But I think I'm going to end the stream off here. It is 1:30. Going for 3.5 hours. Getting tired. I will be back doing more of this tomorrow night, so yeah. I don't know if you'll be around, but I will return. Stronger
I'll
and more
be somewhere.
stronger and more powerful than ever. So yeah, I'm gonna put some music back on louder. It won't drown out my voice this time, I promise, because I won't be talking. But yeah, I'm also probably gonna take a nap, so I won't be back in chat. I'm just gonna sleep because I'm kind of tired right now. So yeah, I will talk to you later.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow at 10 p.m. So yeah, yeah.
Take it easy.
You too. So yeah, like I said, I will be back. If you like what you watch, don't forget to drop a like. Blah 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 blah, all that fun stuff. Subscribe, we redo, blah 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 blah. And yeah. See you tomorrow night at 10. Where's the thing to do the thing? The music thing.